Welcome to the 115th episode of the Nerdom and Other Nonsense Anime Podcast. Today we're bringing you the third and fourth weeks of our fall 2019 season. We're trying to catch up. As always, we include timestamps in the description of the YouTube video and podcast feed if you only want to hear about one or two specific shows, since we spoil every single thing. My name is Leo, and it's been a fortnight since I've heard the Call of Duty, but it is my destiny to Halo reach for the stars. That's why I'm totally going to play Jedi Fallen Order next. Also with me are Bcom and Kat.
Hey.
Hi, Bcom.
Are you buying the game for me, Bcom?
No.
Well, then I'm probably not playing it.
It was pretty good, though. I played it. Oh, man.
On your
Do we get,
new
like,
PC.
Yeah, you want to get like right into nonsense?
Go for it.
Yeah. So, like, one of the reasons, like, one of the many reasons our podcasts have been slightly delayed is my computer died. Just fucking died. It was actually just the graphics card that died, mostly. But my computer was like 10 years old, like the motherboard and the processor. I bought way back when. It was like an i7-950 and like a Gigabyte X58A UD5 motherboard, I think, or something like that. So from way back when. And I was like, it's time to upgrade. And there were some really good deals at Micro Center. So I went... I was planning just to get like a graphics card because I still needed to like recover files from my computer. I settled on getting just like the cheapest one from the new generation. So I got like
you still could have just plugged in the hard drive to the new build.
Yeah, but there was just stuff that was I wanted to check like all the hard drives. And I didn't want to like I don't know. It would have been like a hassle. Like say like the new PC didn't work or something. So I wanted to plug in the new graphics card to the old one first, just to like make sure everything was like ready to get transferred over.
Okay.
And so I was able to do that. So I got like an RTX 2060, which isn't like that cheap, but it's like the cheapest of the new like RTX like graphics cards.
Right.
And then I got a Ryzen 3700X, which is it's like mid-high end, I would say. I don't know. It's pretty damn good, and it's really fucking fast. I also put like an M.2 like SSD in there, like a PCIe SSD. I got the Intel one, like the 660p, which is like not as fast as the Samsung ones that are like top of the line, but still very, very fast. Right. Especially compared to what I was using. I had like an old Crucial SSD that was like old at this point. Like it's not even that fast. So,
do you feel fancy now that you have a new computer?
I do, and like it's so good for the podcast too. Because like when I would edit projects in Adobe Audition, when I would go to export just like the MP3 file for the podcast, it would sometimes take like 30 minutes. Back in the day when I used to apply more weird effects, it would take like 45 minutes. It takes 5 minutes now, which is real good. Like so it's sometimes changed. Less than 5. Yeah. And then like exporting the YouTube video could take up to an hour. And now that takes like 15 to 20 minutes at the most. And it's just like, holy shit, that's so fast.
Yeah.
So everything on my end is like way faster with just like production stuff, which is awesome. I've been waiting to upgrade for a long time.
Yeah.
And yeah, I played Jedi Fallen Order on PC to like sort of like stretch the legs of my new machine. And like I heard a lot of people were having problems with that on consoles, just like bugs and like performance issues and
probably frame rate drops and stuff like that. Yeah.
I saw like very little of that on this PC, probably because it's brand new.
Yeah. With what you got in it,
yeah.
it's not going to stutter too much.
Yeah. And it was mostly on high settings and everything. So yeah, I had a really good time with that game. That is a pretty good Star Wars Jedi game where you run around with a lightsaber and kill stormtroopers and monsters and stuff. It's pretty damn good. It has one of the better stories in any Star Wars video game I've ever played. Yeah, I think it has some issues. Like, it's basically like a lot like a Dark Souls game where you kind of unlock bonfires, but in this game, they're meditation points. And like, you know, in Dark Souls, you can just like transport between any bonfire at will, right?
Yep.
In this game, you can't do that, which is a really weird decision because a lot of this
fast
game,
travel?
No fast travel. which is bad because there's some pretty big maps on these planets, and they want you to explore them to find these chests. And it's a little bit like a Metroid game where you unlock new force abilities or like robot buddy abilities because you have like a little robot with you, kind of like BB-8. And like you want to like go back to those planets and unlock new pathways, but like to get to those points, it can be really annoying without fast travel.
Yeah, so I've read articles where they've said like fast travel it actually takes away from games. Like I remember reading one about Skyrim. They're like how everything's so beautiful and everything, and by having fast travel and having to actually travel, it does a disservice. But like I don't exactly agree with that because like, man, if I played Skyrim and I had to go everywhere, I probably would drop that game. Like never would have played as much as I did.
I was like really immersed in Skyrim for like, I'll say like the first like 5 to 10 hours. And I was like having fun walking from place to place. But then after a certain point, you're like, no, I'm just fast traveling everywhere. Like
exactly.
This is so dumb. Like I'm not doing this. This is crazy. This takes forever. Especially like say like you wanted to like go all the way up that mountain in the middle of the map every single time. Like,
no.
Are you kidding me? Hell no. So fast travel, like it doesn't break the game. I don't think it's just like it recognizes that you have already gone on that path before and you could do it again if you wanted to. So the only reason I think they wouldn't do it is because when you go back to certain places in this Star Wars game, there are new encounters with like different enemies, but it's not even that big of a deal. So I don't know. They should have just let people fast travel. That would fix the whole game, basically. Otherwise, it's great.
Nice. I've been kind of playing it's not a new game, but it's a new game for me. I've been playing Realm Royale, which is another battle royale on the Xbox, of course. Just because my buddy had been playing it, and he said it was pretty good. So, like, actually, 4 of us have been playing almost every goddamn day and got really addicted to it. What some of the things that sets it apart from the others that has it going for it really well is, interestingly, say you load into a match and it says there's 100 people, like 50 to 60 of them are bots, and they're pretty easy kills. Mm-hmm. So it makes it feel like you're a little bit better. But what I really like, it has kind of an RPG element to it. So like there's the 4 different classes, and then like as you level up, they unlock certain perks because like in the game you can like forge weapons and like abilities and stuff like that. So like you can be like, oh, your first forged weapon will always be staves or something like that, which is really cool. They also, your characters have 2 abilities, like an offensive ability and then a passive ability, and you can switch those out or even craft for those also. And we just have a lot of fun. We win a fucking lot. We went I think our record so far is like 4 wins in a row, and we'll always do like 2 wins in a row, and then we might lose 1, but then we'll do like another 3 or 4. So that's really rewarding to actually winning, because if you've played Fortnite, you get wrecked a lot and your wins are very slim unless like you're super pro.
Yeah.
So Realm Royale has been really fun. I can't wait to play it more. And like I said, I'm leveling up my character and unlocking stuff, and I love RPGs, so that's really there. One other thing is fantasy football. We're now into the playoffs. This is my 3rd year playing on the AA podcast one.
Yeah.
And I was doing pretty good this season. I actually have been in like the lead the past month. And I was 10-2. And 2 of the other guys were 9-3.
Nice.
And this final match, I went up against one of those guys, and the other guy played something else. Well, the other guy won, and so did the guy against me by 5 fucking points. But now that all 3 of our scores are tied at 10-3, it's the amount of points you've scored all season, and they both beat me. So I don't get that first bye week where like I get my next game is like a win because we're a 12-man league. So I missed on that, so I actually have to play somebody, and then which ups your chances of losing. But my first year I did win. Last year, I got hit with a lot of injuries. So like my last year was like by like the 5th game, I knew I wasn't going to win. This year, like I said, I'm still definitely in the runnings. doing pretty good. Mitz is doing so horrible. He's like 4 and like 8 or something like that.
Oh, that's rough.
I knew you'd get a kick out of it.
Really good.
Okay. I believe he pretty much got plagued also by like just injuries. Yeah, he's 4 and 9. That's bad. So yeah, but like
okay, so is all you do? Okay, I don't know anything about football. Mm-hmm. Is all that you do just pick players and like put them on a team?
At the very beginning, you have a draft.
Okay,
and it just puts everybody. It's a random order with that you go in, and then you usually start off with a quarterback, and then you just go on from there, and you pick one person until everybody's taken their turns and everybody has their teams. You can still do like trades or pick up other people that weren't picked up. Mm-hmm. So like, yeah, I mean, everybody's going for the best of the best, but it's kind of interesting how the way the draft works. So if you're like first pick, mm-hmm. you're going to grab probably the best person out there, but then everybody basically kind of, it's pretty, I'm not sure exactly. Everybody else pretty much gets to go 2 more times before you get to go again. It's a rough way to say it. So like you may have gotten the very first best pick, but then you don't get to pick again until like the 15th or 20th, depending how big your league is.
So could you theoretically just like make a pretty boys team and just pick the ones that are hottest?
Yes,
and just
you could.
Okay, so
and see how that goes.
The first year I played, Chiaki played, and she picked her whole team based off their horoscope sign.
Nice. I like it.
You can do whatever you want. Yeah, you can just pick the hot ones. And I think she just did that one year too, another year or something like that. Well, I'm not 100% sure.
I should make a team one year that's just like Cat's harem and just pick like all of the hot ones. And just be like, don't let me down. And like,
in these leagues we play for money too, so if you're willing to throw down the money to play, go for it. I mean,
why not? I mean, everyone always wants to talk about their goddamn fantasy team. Why not?
That's true.
I think we did $50 this year, and we're just doing basically winner takes all. So that's a big ass pot the winner gets.
Yeah, cool. That's pretty good. But very cool. What you guys didn't say anything about Thanksgiving at all. Lame.
It's true. It was good. I ate food.
I had
good times.
Yeah. Good. You consumed the nutrients. I did not, because my family's a big piece of shit. So instead,
Jesus.
I'm sorry, that sounds terrible. My family, we don't do that shit. How about that? So instead, I went to my friends, and it was probably the first time in many years that I have seen children at a family-style gathering. And I was just like, oh my goodness, they're running everywhere like wild geese in the savannah. It was amazing. Also, apparently, children have light-up shoes. Like, and I guess they've always had light-up shoes, but I just wasn't aware.
Oh, those made a comeback? Awesome.
Yeah, because, I mean, I didn't grow up with a lot of kids around me, and, like, there's no kids in my family.
Oh, there's definitely a light-up shoe phase when I went through elementary school.
Oh,
Were they called, like, LA Kicks or something? I don't know what the hell they were called.
Yeah, so, like, 3 of these children had these light-up shoes, and I was just like, holy Jesus, there's so many lights everywhere. Like, they just, like, do it constantly. It's like a seizure-inducing thing, I'd feel like. It's pretty intense.
Jesus.
And then let's see. Oh, I went to the Nutcracker this weekend, and that was fun.
Oh, yeah, you went to a ballet. That's right.
Yeah, and then I got there, and I was like, oh, they don't speak. Because it's been a long time since I went to a ballet. And I was
I've never even been, so.
No.
That's cool.
Yeah, and I was like, well, shit. Okay, I feel like I kind of know what's going on. All right, but it's very pretty. It's actually very it's a really great way to appreciate dance, and I do like dance because I was a dancer for a while, so that part of it was awesome. Also, you get to see like the young teenage girls, kind of like their weird rivalry shit. Like if you were really watching, because like there's the 3 age groups, so they have like the kid ones. And then the like teenagers, and then the adults who like some of them are the stars and some of them are the side characters. The adults seem to like kind of be all right with where they are, right? They're kind of like, well, I'm a side character, but I'm in the ballet. Or like, I made it. I'm a star. The teenage girls, for some reason, are like, I'm gonna fucking stand out, man. I'm gonna have my spot in the sun. And like there will be 10 of these like teenage girls in the scene, and 2 of them or something will be like, fuck no, everyone's gonna see me as like swan number 6 or something. And they're like, you can tell they're like really fucking trying, as opposed to these other 8 girls who are like, I'm just happy to do this, it's a side thing. And like it's just very obvious if you're looking like, oh yeah, these 2 girls are like fighting it out. Like, you know, behind the stage, you're like, Becky, she always has to upstage me or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Oh, God.
I had a lot of fun with it. Yeah.
I think a lot of that goes on with dancers, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it does, because I remember. There's a lot of crying and a lot of rivalry and nonsense behavior.
I was going to ask if anybody left crying like your family gatherings, but it kind of sounds like it.
Oh my gosh. But no, I'm also one of those people who, when I go to a restaurant, I'll like imagine one of the tables, like, what are they saying to each other? What's their, relationship? What secret drama is unfolding? So, of course this is what I do.
That's so weird, because I've had another woman tell me that exact same thing.
Oh my goodness. I mean, you gotta entertain yourself as best you can.
That's true.
Yeah.
So should we start talking about entertaining anime that we're following this season?
Yes. We're here for your entertainment. Right?
So yeah, we're covering 2 episodes per show because we're trying to catch up.
Did no one else get that reference? Okay.
No, what's that from?
That's a song.
I don't know. Random pop songs, man.
Oh my gosh. Yes. So the first show that we're covering is Legend of the Galactic Heroes.
I would like to say that as soon as I started this, I was like, I have completely forgotten who everybody and anybody is.
Luckily, they flash their names on screen.
That doesn't help. I don't remember their names either. They got giant, massive names. I'm like, how am I supposed to remember this?
Like Oberstein. I'm like, you had to call him Oberstein. It sounds like a dairy product. Like every time I hear his name, I'm just like, I feel like I should have like some sort of dairy item in front of me to eat. Or he should have like a milk crate with him wherever he goes. I don't know.
Oberstein's
all these names
cheese.
are crazy. Wolfgang Mittermeier, Dusty Attenborough. Why are these names so fucking huge?
Don't you know like the guy like David Attenborough, like the guy who narrates all of like the animal documentaries and stuff?
No.
Okay, never mind. No, I mean like a lot of these are like German names though, because it's based on like Holy Roman Empire type Germany kind of things. So makes sense.
Right. Yep.
But yeah, we're covering episodes 15 and 16 today.
Yes. So yeah, these episodes are really interesting. The main thing that happens is like they introduce the Iserloin Fortress, which is like a man-made planet, which I can't, whenever I see this come up, I can't even imagine like making a planet from scratch. Like
Think
what even
Death
goes
Star.
into that?
Yeah.
Well, but like, is a Death Star like a planet? Like,
no, it's a moon. No, it's joking.
it's smaller than like this is like a full size like Earth. Like if we made it from scratch, like what do you make it from?
Well, it is still
even?
small, but like it's a small planet. So at that point, it's like gigantic.
I remember it from the first season.
I'm just imagining like what do you make an artificial planet from? Like this is the part where I wish they went into more detail, because even in the books they'll go into some detail about some interesting things, but they won't.
No more detail. I get lost as it is. No more.
But because
I love
sometimes
the details.
they'll get really into some subject and you'll be like, wow, this is so fascinating. But like other times they'll just pull it out there like, yeah, it's a man-made planet. And I'm like, well, tell me more about this. How did you make the planet? What did you make it out of? Like, tell me. And they don't. And it's annoying.
I made it out of Play-Doh, it was easily moldable.
I mean, who am I to say what an artificial planet should be made of?
Well, also, if it's planet-sized, wouldn't the middle just be like the pressure just be too great from its own gravity? It'd like crush everything in the middle there?
Yeah, I don't know. See, I don't know.
Doesn't make
Curious. There's probably more details on this in the novels, I would guess, but yeah.
There's some, but not a lot on yeah, because I've read most of the novels. But yeah, and there's also an exchange of prisoners that happens. So between the different sides, and it's something like 2 million soldiers on either side get exchanged. So 4 million soldiers total.
Yeah, and they're feeding like 2 million prisoners. I'm just like, how? I don't even know how you fucking do that.
Yeah, that's part of the reason they want to like exchange them. It's like, we can't feed these people.
Yeah,
it's
and
expensive
this is
as hell.
the part where, like, I guess as you know, humanity has expanded in this version of like what this author imagined, you know, would happen is just that these societies would get bigger and bigger. Like the scale would just get huge, right?
Yeah.
As opposed to like there being all these tiny, you know, new countries. It would just be like these giant countries and these giant wars. Yeah. Which I don't know if that would actually happen, but it's interesting to think about that. Like, because I think I looked this up too. Like the largest prisoner exchange I could ever find in actual history was like 400 at a time.
Really?
On either side. Yeah. So like, you know, interesting. The scale differences there.
Yeah, and they're like going to use these like prisoner swap. Well, at least like Reinhard wants to use it to send like a spy over.
Which makes
yeah. And like Yang is like figuring this out. Like Yang is always like 3 steps ahead. Like he always knows what they're doing.
So smart. I think Yang is the most impressive and amazing person in this entire series. And if I could have my way, I'd be like, oh, I'm taking you home, and you're just gonna be my husbando.
So you know what I really liked was when Yang told Admiral Greenhill that like your daughter is fulfilling her professional duties very well. And I was
my
like,
God.
Yeah, she's putting so much brandy in his tea. Like she's doing a great job.
No, the father guy, he says the line, "Is my daughter fulfilling her professional duties?" And I'm like, are you like whoring her out or something? What the fuck?
Just the way he said that, I was laughing too.
Exactly the same way. But back to the prisoner thing and Reinhard wanting to put like a spy in. Like my first thought was, they know who's in their army. Surely to God they have records. You know, somebody would have to turncoat on them or something, and which is exactly what happens at the end. But I was just like, all right, whatever.
They're not going to just put a random person in there. The idea is that they'll just take someone and be like, all right, we're paying you a lot of money. Like, yeah. But
yeah, they get to that guy, Arthur Lynch, who used to be a rear admiral, and he's the coward of El Facile, which is like, I don't know if they really covered. Did they cover El Facile like the first episode of this?
I feel like they may have in the
it's in
first
the OVA
season.
of the original series.
I have no idea.
So in the first season they may have. I know in the book they talk a lot about it because that's where Yang actually got his name originally. Is like he's the hero of El Facile. I don't know if they cover that much in the actual series. They cover it a lot in the book.
And in the original OVA, just like a whole thing. Yeah.
And so like the idea that he is the one who fucked up and this like was made a laughingstock at El Facile and Yang is the hero, there's like extra bitterness there. That's probably part of the reason why he's so willing to, you know, also like, and of course they don't say that in this, but like that's like an undertone is he's got all this bitterness of like, well, I got, you know, kicked out and demoted basically, and you were like made this big hero, you know. So
how about the guy with the last name Bucock?
Oh, I know.
When I watched the episode, I just call him Admiral Big Cock. That's just what I call him.
He just like swings open the door every night when he comes home from work.
I imagine
Bucock is home.
I just
honey.
imagine every time he ejaculates, he goes pew pew pew.
Oh no.
No, yeah, his name is interesting.
I'm not gonna lie, I've like made that sound effect in my head before.
Oh my God. I'm glad you haven't made it out loud because that would be really awkward.
That's really embarrassing.
Jeez. Oh man. Yeah, like Yang warns him about like how he thinks there's going to be a coup d'etat coming, and he's spot on about that.
Yeah.
Because like the Empire needs to find a way to keep the Free Planets Alliance busy while they're going through their whole like transition to the next Emperor, basically. So, yeah.
Yeah, but so that happens, and it's interesting that both sides see Kirkiais as a good person, but
Yeah.
Kirkiais doesn't really seem to see how impressive Yang is, just that he's unreadable, and that was interesting to me. I don't know. I guess
Oh, yes.
Kirkiais.
He also has that scene with Julian where he's like, I used to be as young as you, Julian. Come back to my room and maybe we can talk a little bit. No.
No.
Like, they like lock eyes and he's like, I hope you do well. It's such like foreshadowing for the rest of the series.
For sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just, it's kind of highlighted to me too that like Kirkiais is not really that smart. He's just like a very good person. He's just like supposed to be the definition of a good conscience. Like that's who he is as a person in this series, is like he has a good conscience, to Reinhard, who's just like a bastard and really doesn't have a conscience at all.
I wouldn't like necessarily say he's not smart because he's like a really good military commander, but he's not like politically savvy.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
he's not. He doesn't have like the genius brain. Like I'm not saying he's stupid. He's just not.
He's not Reinhard. He's not Yang.
Yeah. So, and then
And he's not Hildegard.
yes, that's very interesting. I like. She like really does some maneuvering. She's like, oh, we're not going to lose all of our land here. Like, let's.
That's the next episode.
Yeah, that's the next.
We're
episode.
moving on into episode 16.
Well,
where
I mean, I'm not.
her.
We could talk about the Earth Cult first.
Oh yeah, they do introduce the Earth Cult. That's true. That was important.
I found it interesting they referred to themselves as an Earth cult. It's like, you do a better choice of words there.
I think sometimes though, if everyone else is referring to you as something, eventually you kind of have to give in and be like, yeah, we're the Earth Cult. Like everyone knows that we are.
But I kind of felt like they named themselves that.
I guess. I just love the idea that they're like, this Earth is sacred. Like, I don't know. It's
even though they haven't had like control of it for like at least over 100 years or something or more, I think.
Yeah, it's like, well, you don't know. You've never been there. How do you know?
Yeah, it's just, a religious belief to get people behind. And right now they kind of seem like almost a joke, but like they're getting stronger and stronger, basically. So yeah. And they want like a holy war to free Earth from the empires. That's their goal.
Yeah. And then when Yang meets with Bcom secretly, like in this episode where he goes to the bench and then he's like, there may be a possible coup. And he's like seeing 6 moves ahead, kind of. I feel like that doesn't ever really happen in reality in the military. Like there's never any geniuses who are this smart who are like, well, there's probably going to be a civil war in 2 years, all right? Like,
Yeah.
I think there are like, especially in like the CIA and like intelligence services, there's probably people who are like, I think this is what's going to happen in like 2 years, and we just don't ever hear about it.
And then suddenly we hear Bcom's door kick down, and he's never heard from him again.
open up.
As he's just giving away their secrets.
yeah, maybe. I don't know. I just never hear about in history books like, well, and then this commander was really smart and he was like, I anticipate this. And so he does this. But then the other one anticipated him even more. And like that level of genius like doesn't happen. There may be one genius in real life, but there's never 2 going against each other.
The problem with that is history is always written by the winner.
That's
So you would have to have such a crazy neutral party that knew both sides so well that they could relay that to now. But so
That's
it's
true.
It's not really going to happen.
Yeah, well, maybe one day, but yeah, you might be right there.
Damn
But
right.
But yeah, so then we're going on to the next episode. So in this episode, you kind of see there's these 2 sides in the Empire. So the whole reason that they did this whole coup in the rebel state is just because they are having this issue in the Empire and they need to keep the other side distracted because they don't want them to come after them while they're having this internal struggle. So you've got Braunschweig and Littenheim versus Reinhardt and the other guys, and they're both backing a different heir to this throne once he died in the king died in the last episode. So, and Hilda Mariendorf, I don't know.
Mariendorf, yeah.
Yeah, she helps get a bunch of allies for Reinhardt by basically being like, hey, we know you want to take apart a bunch of these old families. Like, if you don't take apart our families, we'll get behind you, all right?
She had one really interesting line I liked where where like Reinhardt's like, well, why do you want to, join my side? And she says, every empire up to now has never lasted. Every empire has fallen at this point. And that just kind of made me think. I was like, man, so you can think of like everything now is like America fell at some point. There's like no more Russia. There's no more anybody anymore. So that was, I thought that was cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And yeah, she's just like, the Golden Baum dynasty is on its way down, is what she feels, and that Reinhardt has the truer claim to the throne. And like the biggest thing is that she realizes that like Braunschweig and Witt-Littenheim are really only fighting for themselves, and they won't work together well. So she thinks Reinhardt has the upper hand.
Yeah, and even the people on that side who are pretty good people are just like, well, it's useless because like they're really shitty people. So I love how you keep seeing that over and over. They're just like, oh, God.
Yeah, the guys are like just under the leader, and they recognize that their leader is making terrible decisions, but they can't do anything about it.
Yeah, and they'll be like, well, I don't want to betray. They're like, I don't want to betray Braunschweig, but I also don't really want to go back to Braunschweig. Can I just go home? I'm just like, God damn. Like, you're really bad when your men are like, well, I don't want to be disloyal, but you've given me no choice, so I'm just gonna go home.
So one of the things that Hildegard did in her deals was she wanted like rights to their lands.
Yeah, she wanted like a guarantee that their land would not be confiscated by the government at some point.
Yeah. Well, it didn't really explain why she was going this route.
So Reinhardt is planning on taking a bunch of these old noble houses when he wins against Braunschweig and basically just demolishing all of their wealth. And that includes all of their lands and holdings and just being like, well, it's ours now. And like keeping it.
Glad somebody read the books.
Yes.
Yeah, they don't like really make that plain. Like you kind of have to like read between the lines. Like, why would she want to protect her land? Oh, because she thinks it's going to be in danger. So yeah.
Yeah,
I think they take more time in the original OVA to kind of spell that out a bit more, I think. But
they explain
that's
some stuff in the books really well too. I highly recommend the books, and if you can't, because I know they are very like lengthy. They're like Lord of the Rings length. There's also audiobooks.
Oh, cool.
Damn.
I didn't know that. That's nice.
So the one big complaint that I touched on just a minute ago was like the big long names and how hard they are to remember them, and like I don't recognize anybody, and I just don't find like very few of them even memorable. But I'm trying to think, okay, what's another show that has a huge cast but I know everybody in it, and that's Attack on Titan. Yeah. So why do I remember everybody's name in that show? They are shorter, I will give them that, and maybe easier to remember. But then I can tell you all kinds of shit that every individual character has done, and maybe like their biggest and most important roles in a moment. But I cannot do that at all with this show. Do either of you have kind of a similar problem with this?
Yeah, I agree with you, because a lot of the characters who are in Legend Galactic Heroes from the beginning aren't important until later in a lot of cases, or they just don't have their moment to shine early on.
Yeah, because especially here in episode 16, I was like, who are all these fucking people that keep coming on the screen? I don't remember any of you. It sucks.
Like, it's realistic in the sense that, like, okay, of course there would be all of these important people in the military and everything, and in the politics. Do we need to know all of their names and all of their stories right off the bat? Not necessarily, but they like introduce us to all of them, which can be definitely overwhelming. And so remembering who like High Admiral Ovlesser is, or who Admiral Merkatz is, like, can be tough. Like a lot of times when I just look at a name, I don't remember, like, oh, was he Alliance? Was he Empire?
It's not
hard.
Just me then.
Yeah. But you get used to it over time is the thing. But yeah.
I don't know, because I find the politics in this show more confusing than how a stand works in JoJo.
Well, okay, the politics in this is what makes it amazing. All right.
Oh, that's what I sit here and I'm like a deer in headlights. I'm like,
I love
fucking.
I
lost.
absolutely adore this. I love this. Like, I think it's like the Star Wars of the East, or like maybe the Star Trek of the East. I can't really decide.
Somewhere in between. Yeah.
It's awesome. It's like it's so overlooked. Like
That was the loudest meow ever.
I know my fucking cats
hilarious.
are like wrestling on the floor, and I'm just like, Jesus! I've literally taken away everything.
It sounds like you were like strangling one or something.
They're literally wrestling, and they're like locked, like their paws are around each other's necks, and they're like, meh! I don't know. They're stupid.
All right, so what else
Anyway.
stood out in this episode, though? Because we have to hurry up a little bit.
But yeah, I don't know. I said everything that I wanted to say. I was less interested in the second episode than the first, but yeah.
Okay, me too. Cool.
Yeah, I just think it was interesting to
you
meet
fucking
Old
liar,
Lesser.
Leo. You weren't
Yeah.
interested in either one.
Not really, but episode 16 was a little bit worse than episode 15.
I think it was important how we met Ove Lesser, and he like got advice from like that Admiral Mukenberger, like the retired guy, to be like, don't like go against Reinhard. He's gonna kill everyone.
Oh yeah.
There was one observation I made in episode 16, and like I'm like, they have spaceships. They travel through space from planet to planet. Those ships fire lasers. Why do the soldiers have wooden rifles?
I think it's supposed to be tradition.
I think it's like
in
an
the old
aesthetic
days.
type thing, but I'm just
Yeah.
like, this is so not.
It's just like how some like when you get really high up, they give you a sword or whatever in our army, and like nobody uses that.
Yeah, but they don't use them. But they're
well-
using them in this show.
In a couple episodes, we're gonna see some axes. So.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
that's
Get
just
ready
on
for
a
that.
plane. Like, that's like for boarding and shit. But you
Yeah.
know, I think really
That
they're
was like
mostly
it's a special
ceremonial.
situation where like if they used guns, it would like blow up the whole area. So
Yeah. Oh, they talk
Yeah.
more about the gas. I do love the
Yeah.
the gas. But yeah.
so get excited for that. That's
get
Ove Lesser,
excited.
too. He's pretty crazy.
Yep.
All right, let's move on to Stars Align. We got episodes 3 and 4 of this. Leo loves tennis. It's his favorite sport.
I hate sports anime. I hate angsty, moody teens. This is all that.
But they have a reason to be angsty. All of them have terrible parents.
Bcom said that, and I said, you are right. But they complain about fucking playing tennis constantly. Don't fucking play tennis.
They're just okay. Well, they're in like the whole point of these 2 episodes is like they discover that they're in like
They're
really
so
bad
petty.
pairings.
They're
paired up
petty
with the
about
wrong
it.
people. Like, and so the wrong people are going to complain about being with the wrong people. Like, that's
I don't
kind of the whole point.
understand how worked up they get. I played a ton of sports growing up. I never got like them. I don't get their fucking deal.
Have you ever played like a 1-on-1 or 2-on-2 sport?
Track, cross country, lots and lots of softball.
So that's all team sports. That's all like big, larger teams mostly. Like track is like sometimes one of like you're not. I don't know. You get annoyed at a person in a doubles team. Like you see like oh like you could have done something differently there. You lost us that point. Like you're gonna like complain to them sometimes.
Yeah, and like I do that when I play video games, but like not on this fucking level. Like
Well,
they
okay, I
take
mean, like-
it so fucking personally. I'm like,
Yeah. Like, I don't know, basically what Maki decides is like from like viewing like basically the first like the episode 3 is all about him and what's his name? Toma? That's the other main character. Yeah, like playing like matches against like everybody on their team and just like discovering that like they all suck like for different reasons.
I mean, we all knew that they all sucked.
Yeah.
But yeah, you kind of see like some of their personality traits that are negative coming to the fore even more.
Yeah. And
Honestly, I
like
felt
Toma gets like really mad at like all of his teammates for just being like, "What have we been doing? We've been practicing this whole time, and you still suck." Yeah,
Honestly, I thought it was interesting how much Maki kind of looks at things and like is really observant, and really wants the team to do well. Like he studies the girls' team to find ways that the boys' team could be better. Like he studies all of the different pairings and is like, this doesn't work. This doesn't work. Like you can tell he really cares. And then I also
Yeah.
think one of the other main focuses of this episode 3 is just Itsuki and like his backstory and like why he is such a shitbag sometimes, but like he's not always a shitbag. You know?
Yeah, well, and there's that big scene where like that bully comes up to him. His name is like Nikao or something. And he and his friend like start peppering him about his sister who's on the girls' tennis team and how like she's really good but like how he comes from parents who are divorced and his house is a trash pile. And I was like, okay, just like murder this person. So like he gets up and like hits him with his tennis racket,
Well,
right?
he basically almost did murder him. I mean,
like he should have murdered him.
yeah,
No,
like
you can't murder people because they talk shit about your family.
yeah,
you can
but if you
beat
hit
them.
him over the head hard enough with
Yeah,
the
you-
edge of
Yeah.
a tennis racket
He
to
broke the
like
racket.
break it, they at the very least are definitely getting stitches, which didn't happen.
You
And
can
he
beat
did
the
not
shit
get
out of
suspended.
someone.
He got a stern talking to.
Oh, I
if
know.
you
I
don't
was
call it
shocked.
Yeah, it was
stern.
amazing
I
he
was
didn't
like,
get
no, no.
suspended.
I
I was like, this
in
kid
real
is suspended.
Life,
He's getting upped on charges. He's done.
in real life, he would be out of that school.
Oh yeah.
Like that would be so different.
Yeah, the
that I
teacher's
didn't
just
believe.
like, you know, what he said. Look, luckily he had a bunch of witnesses, but like, he's like, oh, you know, what he said to you was very upsetting about your parents. I'm just like, yeah, but he attacked him with a weapon. Like,
And
of course,
then he's like,
he gets
but
suspended.
you shouldn't just hit them. And it's like, you fucking almost killed a guy. Give me a break.
But the thing, at the same
okay.
time, that kid was saying like fighting words. Like he wanted to get punched in the face. Like,
Oh no, I think he should have beat the shit out of him. I just don't think he should have hit him in the head because like
yeah, he shouldn't have used the tennis racket. Most
Yeah.
likely, yeah. And like Maki even tells him that, like, that was a waste, bro. That was a perfectly
Yeah.
good tennis racket.
Well, and I also wonder, like, so if this was like an inner city school, like in Tokyo, I could maybe even see him getting away with that. Like, but it's not. It's totally not.
No, it's just
So-
like, yeah, kind of privileged, like school
Yeah.
out in the middle of nowhere with tennis teams, you know? Like,
Yeah, it's not. It's not that. So
Well, another interesting thing was like the girls' team is like really, really good,
yeah,
but nobody gives two shits about the men's team.
no, which is kind
That's
of funny.
so-
It's
yeah, it's
usually
so
backwards, but yeah. And then there was the other scene that was interesting is like when Toma, like when he got mad at everybody on the team and he went home, like his
yeah.
mom is just like yelling at him when he gets home because she's like, you're home early from practice, why are you home early? And he's like, I had to leave or something. And she's like, when are you gonna try, when are you gonna start trying? He like kind of says under his breath like, I am trying as hard as I can.
I think this is the point where I messaged you, Bcom, and I said,
Yeah.
the only good thing the show has going for it is most of the moms are hot.
Moms are pretty cute.
moms
this
are hot
mom,
as
though,
they're like
is weird.
burning their children alive and screaming at their children and causing permanent scarring and all this shit.
Yeah, we didn't talk about Itsuki's mom. Like, so yeah, the
Yeah.
other guys like getting in the club just gather around and are like, yeah, she poured boiling water on him because he wouldn't stop crying as a baby and she was kind of out of her mind.
Well, she had postpartum depression, probably. Yeah.
But still, like, damn, that's pretty insane. And we see that Itsuki's sister's really nice to him, like after school. Like, she heard everything that happened and she was just like, well, let's go home and eat dinner.
Well, and
It
I like
seems-
that they
yeah.
explain like he's not changing in front of you, not because he's ashamed of his scars, but like he just doesn't want to have to explain it. He doesn't want to have you ask and have you have to explain it. And I totally get that. It's not even that because it's not even that you're ashamed of like, oh, I have a scar. It's like I don't want to have to tell you about
Just
all the
every
fucked
time
up shit
somebody
in my
sees your
past
back,
just because
you have to explain that damn
Yeah.
story over
It's
and
Or
over
you
like, I
don't
and
don't care
want
over.
if
to, you don't even
stare
have
at
to
it.
like lie about it. Like, you just don't want to address it at all. Like,
Yeah, it's like because it always bugs me when people ask of like about like an obviously really traumatic scar. It's like like maybe don't ask. Maybe just like wait until they
Yeah.
That's always weird to me. But yeah, and then in episode 4, I was wondering why they did the match with the better school. It didn't really make any sense to me why they set up this match with this better school.
Well, it's partially to gauge where they are as a school. Even if they are going up, like, they're going to get kicked, their asses kicked, but
They're gonna
like,
get creamed. They're gonna
but
get
they even
absolutely
say to
creamed.
themselves, like, hey, this is an opportunity. How often
they
do you
didn't
get
have
to
the
go up
match.
against the best?
They didn't have the match this episode, did they?
No, they didn't.
No,
they just,
Okay,
but
they
they
just
got
talk
for a
about
second.
planning it.
The way
Yeah.
you worded that, I was like, how did I totally phase over that whole.
No, this is like the end of episode 4. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
No. Yeah, but I just remember them planning it out and doing all this stuff for it. And I'm just like, they're going to get absolutely creamed. Like, why even, like, I don't know. It just seems like a really stupid thing to do. Because it's going to really demoralize them. It would be better to go against, like, a regular team.
They do it early on in Haikyuu, though, too, where they, like, face off against, like, one of the top teams, and then they just, like, they see how to be a great volleyball team from playing.
But in Haikyuu, they have talent already. They're really pretty good.
Did you see the new pairings? Like once they're paired together, they're pretty good.
Like, they don't have that amazing talent like the people in Haikyuu do. Like some of them have a little bit of it.
Maki's like a natural. Like he's
Maki
just
is like a little okay, but like in Haikyuu, I mean, Jesus Christ, he's jumping up and down like a crack addict or something. They don't have that level.
Speaking of jumping up and down, my advice to them is that they all just grasshopper their way out the window.
I like that whole like grasshoppers thing, like where the girls are like, well, you know, boys this age are grasshoppers. You can't like.
That was the hot teacher that said that.
Yeah, like you can't tell them that like the girls' team said anything nice about them because like they'll just go grasshopper over to them and not think about like what they really should be doing. But yeah, I liked all the new pairings, like Shingo and Tsubasa, the two guys who just like fucking complain constantly. They get paired up together, so they complain about each other, and they get better through complaining about each other. Basically, is how it works out because they both have those loud, aggressive personalities that they kind of complement each other when they're together. Of course, that could blow up. Like, if they hadn't worked well together, that could have easily blown up and been a big problem, but it worked out in that case. And then, like, Rintaro and Itsuki are better together just because, like, Itsuki is much better at the net than he was at the baseline. And Rintaro is better at baseline. And then, like, Tayo and Now, who are, like, the weakest, like, most demure players on the team.
Are you a net guy or a baseline guy?
They're both baseline guys. So they're like, let's both play back. And like, because they have accurate like baseline strokes, they're able, like all three of these pairings beat Maki and Tomo, which is pretty cool. In different ways.
But it's shown that Maki went kind of easy on everybody too.
He did, like, because he wanted to give them confidence, but still, like, they played well, which is good. And it shows you how like their path to victory in the future kind of thing. So
I guess. So how about that abusive father again?
Oh God. Yeah. Like his father's like waiting for him again at the end of the episode to like shake him down. He has these flashbacks to his father beating his mother when he was a little kid and how he was terrified, and
which sucks because Maki's mom is probably the hottest.
Okay, that's why it sucks. It sucks that she got beat because she's hot. Leo, what the fuck? I don't know what to say to you sometimes.
It's not even on that. Like, I have kind of a lot of respect for her. She seems like a good mom, and
she's
like
kind of an airhead.
And whenever she showed up, she was like, she seemed smart enough to not stick with that guy.
Oh yeah, I mean, she's got good qualities. The only thing bad I could say about her is that sometimes she's kind of an airhead.
Yeah, she's a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, but she's cute, and like it's obvious that she wanted to do what's best for her son. But yeah, no, I was actually surprised he broke the bat because I thought that he was just gonna hit Maki like over and over with it.
Oh, the racket.
Yeah, like an echo of like the Itsuki thing in the last episode. So.
That would have been pretty over the top. At least his dad doesn't go that far. Yeah.
But I think eventually Maki's gonna hit that dude with the bracket. Like I think that's what all this foreshadowing is for. Is like eventually Maki's gonna be like, I'm done, and like beat the shit out of his dad with the racket.
Yeah, he has so much trauma now, though. He's not at that point. Like whenever he sees his dad, he kind of just cowers in fear.
Well, okay, but like when you have a lot of trauma, you either do fight or flight. Like you either want to like hide from it or run or fight. And right now he's like in like I'm gonna hide or retreat from the situation. I think eventually he'll get to the point where like
no, he's freezing.
Snaps.
Actually, he's freezing up. So this is really interesting. So it's that you've always called it the fight or flight, but it's actually fight, freeze, or flight. It's actually three things.
So he's kind of freezing.
Well, what I'm saying is eventually I think he'll snap.
Think of like a deer in headlights. It doesn't fight. It doesn't flee. It freezes. Yeah. That's the easiest way to wrap your head around it.
I mean, but it's a kind of fleeing. It's like running away into your head.
Sure, you could argue that, but it's definitely more. He's frozen. He's literally frozen in place. He can't react either way to his situation he's in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but yeah, I think eventually he will just snap and just go on and like just have an episode of like rage and just attack his dad. I think that's what'll happen.
Yeah. The only two other things I wanted to mention in this episode, there's like the student council. They didn't put together enough budget. Like if the boys' soft tennis team was gonna like not disband.
They're like, we didn't plan on that. We're kind of fucked if they do. I'm like,
the president's like, well, they're not successful people though, so we don't have to worry about them.
I'm like, that's
she's kind of a bitch. The other tiny thing I noticed that I was like, what the fuck? There's like when they're cooking at Maki's house, one of them is like cutting tofu and they're cutting it like on top of their hand. And I was like, are you insane?
Well, tofu is really soft, so I guess I could see like...
Yeah, I could see how you could do it with your hand.
What? Oh, man, but like it's so dangerous, though, if it's just like sliced through too much.
It's not dangerous. I mean, it's like it's a very moist, soft thing, so...
Yeah.
It takes
Could you cut it with a butter knife?
You could cut it with a butter knife, yeah.
Oh, yeah, so you could totally cut it in
I
your
guess
hand.
soft tofu... Well, actually, I don't know.
Like, I got some like nice sharp knives. No, I wouldn't cut something with those in my hand, but like, you know, I got dollar older blades that would be like totally fine.
You could probably
super sharp knives though.
You could probably take your finger, honestly, and cut tofu.
If it's the right kind of like soft one, I guess so. I don't know. I was freaked out when they were doing that. It's like, put it on a cutting board, you idiots. Yeah. Should we talk about the next show, Beastars?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Episodes 3 and 4. This was a pretty fun one too.
Yeah, I found it like they just kind of hinted that Haru kind of likes to sleep around, but she like actually like straight up does sleep around, which is fine. But I was like, wow, that makes her a very interesting and different character because
I love her as a character.
That's a very rare character that I honestly can't think of somebody that's like her.
I feel like this means that Japan is progressing as a society. If someone is going to come out with a character that is nerdy and has like other sides to them and is also a slut and sleeps around. Because like I've never seen that either.
Damn, Kat.
There's
Talk
the
about
one
yourself
girl
like
in like
that.
Domestic Girlfriends who sleeps around, but she also like...
Domestic girl... Did you really bring up Domestic Girlfriend?
It's an example from this year.
That is a terrible comparison.
Bcom, are you telling me that you watched more than an episode of Domestic Girlfriend?
I watched all of Domestic Girlfriend. Are you crazy? I love that show.
Oh
Didn't
my
we
God.
cover it? Didn't we all have to fucking watch it?
I don't know if we covered the whole thing or not. I have memory lapses. I think we covered all of it. I'm pretty sure we did.
I know I read it and then had to watch it because of you. And I told you from the beginning, I was like, you don't really want to do this, guys. You really don't want to do this.
Yeah.
And then what do you know? You guys were like, this show's fucking terrible, but I can't stop watching. I'm trying to warn you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but yeah, so I was very pleasantly surprised by her character. So
yeah, we meet like more of the drama club in this episode.
Okay.
What?
These guys.
They're so weird.
They are weird.
So apparently everybody in the drama club had some type of trauma happen to them.
Okay, but like how? How is that possible? That bugged me.
So, okay. The leopard was a dominatrix at 14.
The leopard was
In a carnivore club.
At 14.
Carnivore club.
I'm sorry. Come on.
I think she's the cheetah girl, by the way. I think. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Was it the cheetah girl?
Yeah.
Is that think about the logistics of this. You're like the leader of this club. You're like, first of all, you'd have to seek out like we're gonna make this for troubled people, and you'd have to like convince them to join the drama club.
Yeah,
especially.
and another interesting thing is they are being scouted because they have these traumas, which is
dumb and weird, and I've never even heard of anything like that.
Some of the other ones, like the giraffe, has trypophobia.
Yeah.
If you know what that is, that's like the bunch of little tiny holes in like something that's weird.
Yeah, so she can't look at herself because she has spots on her body.
Yeah, that's weird. Okay, and then
sucks.
the rhino like believes her horn is her guardian spirit. Just like what?
Oh yeah, no, it's kind of nuts. So yeah, it's like a refuge for all these people that have weird backgrounds.
But I'm just wondering, do they get approached and they're like, you are required to be in this club because you're a fuck up? Is that what they tell them, basically?
It seems like that's what Lewis wants. Like
Kinda.
he wants all these people. Yeah.
Like, listen, we looked into you. You're a fuck up. You have to be in this club now. Tough shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, is that basically the deal?
I guess so. I mean, like maybe Lewis feels that like people with that kind of background can express themselves better or something. Who knows?
They haven't
Sounds
explained
dumb.
yet.
They haven't really explained it.
Yeah.
There's also that whole scene where Lewis like choke slams Lugosi against a wall because Lewis is all upset about how he's like dealing with his injury and how he can't like perform like he wants to, and then he's also pissed at Lugosi because he realizes that he's a carnivore that like loves to hide who he really is.
Well,
and he wants
I
Lugosi
really,
to insert himself.
Yeah, I really feel like Louis is like he's really jealous of Lugosi because he's a carnivore, and like you said, he tends to hide, and he's not using him being a carnivore to his own advantage. And Louis like, I wish I was you so I could be, big and bold and awesome.
Basically, yeah, and like he's acting out that part as the lead in the play, like the head carnivore and everything. And like that's basically what like Lugosi tells him, like people are going to see how strong you are when you perform like the next day.
Yeah. There's also the scene where the reporter's talking about Louis possibly falling, and if he did, they should get a picture of it, which is just like,
Yeah.
I was like, this is huge foreshadowing. His ankle was going to fucking cause him a problem. Like, I knew it was anyways, but this was just like definitely going to happen for sure.
Yeah, 100%. There's going to be something that happens. Yeah. I was interested in like that time when they go underground for like environment time, they call it. Like they basically, everybody at the school goes and hangs out with like their own species in their like natural habitat underground for a little bit. And I was like, damn, this is like a crazy operation. Like you got all the wolves hanging out and it's like a cold room. And I guess it's like all mandatory. Like all the animals have to go because if they don't do environment time, like it'll throw off like something about like their internal clock or something. I thought that was kind of weird, but cool.
I felt more like it was a big like stress reliever for them.
Yeah.
Since they're always mixed with everybody else. They just every once in a while, they just need to go and just kind of be with their own people just so they can chill out. And
it's interesting because like there's like the divisions between the herbivores and the carnivores, but then now there's even these like subdivisions that are just like by species where you hang with your own species every once in a while. It's like there's all these like divisions in this show.
yeah.
And yeah, like Lewis gives like the club members like a pep talk at the end of the episode. But it's like his own thoughts inside his head are all about himself. Like,
yeah, he's a little bit of a self-centered person.
Oh
by
yeah.
nature.
I also feel like he needed to chill the fuck out this episode. and like the whole time I'm like, dude, you just go get the fucking ankle checked, please. Like a week ago, get it taken care of. And they don't say exactly, but I'm assuming he doesn't because he's afraid that they will take him off the out of the play. So because they don't want him to be on his ankle whatsoever.
And so he collapses at the end of episode 3 as the curtain's falling. Like he gave a great performance, but then collapses because his ankle is too much.
You hear like a crack, and he definitely like injures it even more.
Yeah, they said he fractured it. Yeah.
Okay. Going to episode 4, my subtitles went between fractured and broken.
Oh, really? Did they? I didn't notice that.
It can't be both. You got to pick one.
What's the fucking difference? It's fucked up. I don't care.
A fracture
is like
not
less severe than a break, right?
Yes.
Like,
It's just think of it as like a crack. It's not completely broken, and it'll heal a lot faster and all stuff. A broken is as the exact word is. This is when this thing has been completely cleaved in two. And like I said, the healing time is going to be a lot of different. Even being how much weight you can be on the leg. So like that was a big deal. And the fact that it went back and forth on me, I was like, you guys got to pick one. And the way he acts and moves around looks more like a fracture. Way more like a fracture.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And so because he's in the hospital, though, they have to hand off the lead role to someone else. And so they give it to Bill, the Bengal tiger.
Just don't give it to Bill. Louise specifically says to give it to Bill.
Yeah. So, I mean, he was like probably the next up, like the second in like line to do that stuff. So, but yeah, he's a carnivore playing a carnivore role, and he's gonna play it his own way. And like, even when he's like sparring with Lugosi in practice, he starts to get really intense because he's like, oh, when I'm fighting you, I can finally like let loose.
Yeah, he says because they're both carnivores, they can fight better. And I'm just like, man, there are plenty of like herbivores out there that will fuck you up. And like I just off the top of my head, I was like, hippos actually kill a lot of people.
Yeah.
Moose. Have you seen the size of a fucking moose?
Oh yeah,
and then I'm
moose
just like,
will go nuts too.
And I'm not saying all right. And then I'm like, I'm just going to throw elephant in there. Come on.
Oh well, yeah, yeah.
Have you ever seen a moose on camera like going nuts?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, that's pretty crazy.
terrifying.
They're huge too.
You
so.
see them duel and like the impact of like crashing in. Jesus Christ! Like if any of those three animals wanted you dead, you're dead. So
Yeah, I think that's true. Yeah,
yeah. So
in this specific case, it's like
of.
it's the difference between like a deer and a wolf, though. So like fighting a wolf instead of a deer, like you're gonna feel like, oh, I can go more out of my way to like really let loose on this guy.
I'm pretty sure a deer could fuck you up if it wanted to.
I mean, if it kicked you with its hind legs, yeah, it'd be pretty bad.
I mean, it fucks up cars.
And like, yeah, Luis, like he complains to Bill about how Lugosi like forces himself to be weak, and how Bill's he praises Bill for being the opposite, like just wearing his carnivore like self on his sleeve.
I know this has never happened to Bcom because he doesn't live here, but Kat, have you ever hit a deer before?
No, but I've seen a lot of deer car wrecks, and they will like they're intense. Like
I have a lot of woods around me, actually, Leo. There's a lot of deer in the part of like New York, especially I used to live in.
He's like, I need to prove you wrong.
I have come so close to hitting deer before.
I have actually hit a deer, but I had barely slowed down enough in time that like I basically bumped it on the butt. And then it just ran on. Like it was nighttime. I was coming back home, and I just happened to see its eyes, and I knew to just immediately start to fucking hit the brakes because it could or could not run over me. And that's like I must have dropped down to finally like 5 miles an hour when I finally bumped it. It didn't even do anything to the car, but it just hit an rear end. It kind of stumbled and then it fucking took off.
It's probably like, oh, I didn't die.
But if I had not seen it, I would have hit that fucker doing like 40. And
it'll total your car.
Yeah.
Yeah, the two times I've come close, it's like they just jet out from the right side of the road, and you barely have time to see them. Yeah, it's pretty bad.
It's annoying.
So yeah, Bill though, he's on fucking PEDs basically, like rabbit's blood. He's like taking it to be even more of a carnivore crazy guy.
Does he take it, or do you just smell it? Because he still has it when he goes on stage.
I feel like he took it.
They make it sound like it's like a big upper.
Yeah.
Is that how, like that's what he kind of made it sound like? And like Lugosi's like super pissed at him because it's a rabbit's blood. And he's thinking of Haru. He just doesn't realize he likes it yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so like Bill, like he goes out, he does a performance, but he like loses his composure. He's not doing very well. He hears people like starting to whisper about him.
The crowd is reacting very negatively to his performance. Yeah.
And so like Lugosi comes out on stage and just like is like, I'm gonna fight this asshole for real.
Yep.
Like he throws down his sword and he just starts like going ham on him. And the rest of the cast are like, we should stop them, and all the herbivores are like, we can't.
The teachers are like, we can't.
We can't do anything.
One really interesting thing was that like people show up and like the reporters are there, and nobody has heard about Louis's fractured leg. I don't know how that's possible.
They kept it under wraps. They snuck him to the hospital.
Yeah, but then nobody from the club, the drama club, mentioned it, and then it spread like fucking wildfire.
Yeah, that's kind of surprising that they kept that a secret.
I found that unbelievable.
Yeah, it's a little bit unbelievable. But.
Yeah, and so the Bill and Lugosi fight's like really intense, and Bill like pushes him off finally, and he asks him like, "Have you hurt or killed a rabbit before?" And then he like cuts into like Lugosi's back with his claws.
I know, I was like, what the fuck, dude, when he did that.
It was pretty intense. And then luckily, like, Louis appears somehow from the hospital and he's got like Adler's skull, which got like knocked off of Bill earlier, and
He's also walking around just fine. I don't know what the fuck's going on.
yeah, well, he's on adrenaline or something. And like the whole audience cheers, and like he makes Bill into the villain again, and like sends him running off stage. And he also called him out for like doping with rabbit's blood, but the audience doesn't hear any of that.
Yeah, because like when Legoshi punched Bill at one point, like the vial flew to Louis' feet, and he figured out what was going on. There was one strange thing. So like we as the viewer, we understand everything that's going on like behind the scenes and what their conversation is. But if you imagine that you were an audience member, you would have been so fucking confused about what was happening on stage.
Yeah, for sure. I think they're just into it because it's so like violent and like not what they expected.
I thought that too, though, because like the actual plot is completely fucked. It makes no sense.
Well, the other thing is that just like the whole plot is kind of just like, you know, a mini play that describes their whole situation as a school with like the obvious like trouble that will go on between carnivores and herbivores, and like so all these people are really invested in that part of it. Like they're afraid of like the carnivores fighting, and then they're excited when Lewis is like strong enough to stand against one of them, even because he's a herbivore and he shouldn't be able to do that necessarily. So I don't know. It was a really cool episode, I thought. Like just
all of the episodes are very cool. There's sometimes some plot holes, but on the whole, it's a very good series.
Yeah, basically. I'm really liking it so far.
Yeah, it's probably my favorite OP of the season too.
Oh, yeah.
So far.
Oh, yeah, it's really good. I just love that stop motion stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Leo, tell us about that show, that other animal
shit
show.
The really
Kemono
shitty
Michi
show.
Rise Up.
I love that these are back
show.
to back. It's the best. They're back to
This show's so fucking hilarious.
This show is a pile of garbage.
No, episode 3, Genzo is 100% a furry, as like he goes head over heels for like his neighbor who's like basically a dog or bear
She's like
person.
a middle-aged like woman who's like a dog or like a rabbit, or not a rabbit, like a raccoon or something. I don't know what.
I don't know what she is, but it's so funny because he literally falls like off a roof trying to get to her. And she's acting all like shy. She's like, but I'm married and I have children. Oh my god, no. I was in tears. I was like, I love this shit fucking show. This is awesome.
My favorite like running joke in the show is when like the heat haze guy, who is like the other guy who is like their rival, I guess. They always beat him, and then Shigure always just like picks up his sword, and it's always like a really nice sword.
He calls Genzo like a demon, a beast slayer, and he pisses off, so he was like always throws him or something. He drops his sword, and Shigure is like, "Oh look, somebody left the sword here. It's mine." And like later on, she's like selling them to like the sword stores, and they're like, "Holy shit, this is the so and so blah 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 Excalibur, amazing!" And she's just like, "Yeah, just give me the money." And that running joke is not going to get old for me. It's funny every time, and like at one point, like she does it and it's on screen for literally a second and a half. She just picks up and you see her go, "Oh," and she runs off with it. And like, that's just it. And I was like, I love it. It's so good.
I'm
this
glad
is when
someone loves the shit in this.
yeah, this episode is also when we get to meet Hanako.
Yeah, who we first meet as Linda Bulea or whatever her weird name is. But yeah, he like renames her basically.
Yeah, she's like a half dragon. She has like this crazy appetite, and she like wants to eat his dog. And he's like, "You can't eat my dog." She wants to eat everything. It's cliche, but I found it funny at the same time.
Yeah.
Bcom, yes. I know you said something about that.
Oh, I was laughing because he like captures her, and he's like, "I'm not a lolicon." Like when she's like she thinks he's gonna have his way with her, and like I was like, well, he's a furry but not a lolicon, so that's like a step up.
He just
from Kazuma.
loves her for her horn and tail, tail. But it's really funny because like when he does like capture in a cage, because they're trying to find some vampire person that's been biting people or something like that, and like a group of other people are out and they run up on him and they're like, "You must be the bad guy." He's like, "Well, how am I the bad guy? Like, you have a lolly in a cage in the middle of the night." And he's like, fuck. You're
He's
right.
like, I realize how this looks now.
Yeah,
I need to
I
run
realize
away.
this is bad. This looks really, really bad. So like he runs away and like Hanako goes with him, and I think she's really cute and funny and very entertaining.
She's pretty cute.
Yeah, but then eventually like Carmilla shows up, which is like her maid servant. And like she's on the roof and she's like monologuing about, I'm here to get Hanako and you are the bad guy, Genzo. But then like Hanako and Genzo both are like just like throwing rocks at her and interrupting her. I thought that watching Hanako do that fucking was cracking me up, dude. Kat, you liked it too, right?
No, not at all. I was like, I'm bored.
Yeah, and I think later on she monologues again. She gets like splashed in the face or something like that. So that's pretty funny.
I was almost really annoyed at the show when they did the joke where like Hanako was like proposing like marriage. And I thought she was talking to Genzo because you're supposed to think that, but she's actually talking to like his dog. And I was gonna be like really annoyed if she just like proposed to him in like the first episode where we meet her, basically. But she did.
Yeah,
So
basically she wants to keep the dog for herself so she can fatten it up.
And then eat it. Yeah.
And then eat it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else with that episode? We move on to episode 4.
So as the episodes go on, they become less and less plot driven and more just full of dumb jokes.
Did you ever watch not that one? Wow, I'm blanking. Help me, Bcom.
Wait, Konosuba?
Thank you.
Oh, okay.
Kat, did you ever watch Konosuba?
No.
Okay,
Oh, really? Wow, that's surprising.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, so the things that I got out of episode 4, one, there's a scene with the neighbor again, and she's like, I have a husband, and she's like hitting on her again, and he's like, but isn't your husband a kobold? That means I can love both of you. And I'm like, is he making it like a pun on cuckold? Is like that's what's happening here?
No, he just loves both animals. That's really
He just
all it
loves
is.
animals, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, but Cole, I think that might have been a pun. I think you guys are being naive. And I also thought the maid was sensible. And then in the second episode that she's in, episode 4, she just lays around the house. Like her personality just totally changes.
Oh, yeah.
I liked the scene with her where she's just like, yeah, I was working as like a prostitute and like all these guys kept running after me when I just took their money.
She didn't understand what being a prostitute was.
She's an idiot.
So episode 4, it starts off with the princess and everybody, the guards and the priest are calling her Princess Buttocks. And she's talking to the priest and they accidentally keep letting it slip.
They keep like laughing in mid-conversation. Like they can't help themselves.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. And she's just like, she's tore up about it. She's like, I'm always known as Princess Buttock. What's Altana? Yeah, that's her name. Mm-hmm. Oh, and the dog's name is Hiroyuki.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So I love I love everything about this show, actually. So there's the next scene of like Genzo who's still trying to like kind of seduce the furry neighbor, and you see like Shigure's face, which was probably Kat's face.
Yeah,
she
just
watched
like,
it. She's just disgusted and just like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
That was weird. It's weird.
Oh, did you pay attention to the sound the cat made when like Shigure tossed it out the door?
No, I don't think so. What did it do?
I don't remember, but I wrote it down because it was funny. I was hoping that was my little ploy for one of you to go, oh yeah.
Yeah, it made like a rare sound. I don't remember. Yeah, no. Yeah, I like how Shigure like gets fed up with him for like trying to like keep just spending money on animals, like feeding them the fanciest food and like spending just literally all of their money.
Yeah. So it's also in this episode that Shigure is still taking people's swords and she starts selling the swords at the stores.
Yeah.
Which is fucking awesome. I also love that Carmilla is getting beat up every 5 minutes.
She's basically darkness in my mind.
I'm saving that for the end of how that kind of makes her darkness a little bit. But if it's not Genzo fucking her up, it's like she's like, I will face these griffins, and like the griffins immediately just like had half her body in their mouth. She was like out immediately. That was really cool. But like a lot of people are doing, they're making comparisons between this and Konosuba's characters. And what I'm seeing for the most part is I'm seeing two aspects of one of Konosuba's characters in each of these characters.
Basically, yeah.
So for me, Shigure, she's like Aqua in that she is like all about the money and scheming. You know, let's get the shortest, quickest way to get this money, even if we do people wrong.
Same color scheme too, like blue color scheme.
She's got a bunch of the blue, but I also feel like she's like Kazuma because she's the smartest person out of this group.
Sure, yeah, she's kind of like reliable as well. Yeah.
I also feel like Genzo has a bit of Megumin in him because he's like so focused on animals, like how she's obsessed with explosions. She's all about explosions, and Genzo's all about animals.
That makes sense. Yeah.
But then with Carmilla, that's when I get the Aqua and Darkness. She thinks super highly of herself, but is proven completely worthless. So there's Aqua. But she also resembles Darkness, like you said earlier, because she's constantly getting beat up and getting hurt. And Darkness's big thing was just being a fucking.
She has a tiny bit of Megumin thrown in too. Because she says like the Waganawa, like or whatever the fuck her name is. Waganawa Carmilla or whatever instead of Waganawa Megumin. So she has that like stupid introduction that Megumin always does. But,
yeah, that is true.
So yeah, it's just like a mix of all the characteristics, but like I mean, Hanako is pretty close to Megumin in a lot of ways, just like design wise.
Well, she's got like the lolly type design too, with the red also.
Yep.
So yeah, and Carmilla has a little bit of the yellow too, I guess, and she has yellow hair. But.
Yeah, so it's funny how like they're the same but like slightly different. Yeah, basically. Oh man, I'm curious where the show is going though. Is the thing because like they've introduced like the 3 or 4 main characters now, and it's like, what's going to be like the main conflict of this show? Like just him trying to capture more monsters, or is there going to be like some overarching plot that involves all of them?
Well, to answer your question, how did Konosuba handle that?
They just did stupid shit. And well, they like introduced more characters as they went to like fight the Demon Lord.
Konosuba, they had like the Demon Lord and all his generals, so they would like defeat one of them at a time. So I could see this going like there's like a Beast Lord or something like that.
Oh, that'd be pretty cool, actually. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, we're halfway through. Why don't we take a quick break before we move on to the next show?
Woohoo!
Yay!
See ya.
The Trash Pandas bring you this nugget from another trash can. What happens when Brains and Bullets discuss episode 2 of One Punch Man?
Pretty much gene splicing heads. They will
Yep.
They will splice genes. They have a cyborg gorilla. They have a frog that walks on 2 legs and communicates at long range. Like they got. You think they splice
the Lion King?
Yeah, they have the lion. They have a f***ing lion, Beast King, and
Simba.
Yeah, he's f***ing Simba. I don't mean he's f***ing Simba. I mean he's f***ing Simba.
We at Trash Pandas Watch Anime dig through the trash so you don't have to. You can find the Trash Pandas Watch Anime podcast on iTunes, SoundCloud. You can also follow us on Facebook and Twitter where you'll get live updates from what we do.
Hey, do you like wrestling?
Whether it be in a bar, an arena, some weird place in Asia, or in a stadium?
Or the occasional penis plex?
Well, if any of these things might tickle your fancy, anywhere in between from penises to wrestling, you can come and check out our podcast.
Our podcast name is Smack It Down. We talk all things WWE, New Japan, anything else in between.
I'm Jay Silver.
I'm Corey Gold.
And we look forward to you joining us.
Happy Rusev Day.
Happy Rusev Day indeed.
And welcome back, everyone. And I'm sitting here eating my chocolate-covered espresso beans over the break.
Kat, where did all this energy come from?
And Bcom's like, those are chocolate-covered espresso. He fucking thought I was sitting here with an open bag of coffee, just eating it, just like, it's good.
Kat, I wouldn't put it past you to like grind them up and then just snort them off your desk, like. I could see you doing that. So
I mean,
I was thinking.
It would damage your nasal cavity. You would bleed out of your nose if you did that.
Not if you did a really, really fine grind.
No, even an espresso grind, it would fuck up your nasal cavity, like hardcore.
Oh boy.
One of my old professors used to bring chocolate-covered espresso beans to his exams and just hand them out during the exams so we have like enough energy. That's pretty great.
That's smart.
Actually. I mean, you do.
It actually helps for sure. Like I thought that was like a good idea.
And you get a lot more energy out of it than just drinking coffee because it's like it's not an infusion. It's the entire bean.
Oh yeah.
It's literally not filtered.
Yes. So
right,
from the
next show,
great studio who gave us Beso Shoujo Machiavellianism is Oresuki.
episodes 3 and 4. So yeah.
Yep.
I don't know if you want to break it down, but like this episode made so many like pretentious literary references. I like had to keep track of all of them.
Yeah, you got the most notes. You go with yours.
So like everything's coming to a head because like they're all like in the library or whatever. And Pansy, like first Pansy calls Joro like Mr. White Elephant. Because she's holding this book called Obel and the Elephant by Kenji Miyazawa. It's a Japanese book. And Joro is claiming he's been exploited like this whole time. And like in this book, this elephant was exploited by Obel, like the main character in the book. I totally don't remember how, but like there's like, in some way he is exploited. And then like Sun-chan is like punching him into some bookshelves and like Crime and Punishment just falls off the shelf. I thought that one was pretty on the nose because he's like getting punished for his crimes.
Yeah.
And then there's like another one, like Pansy tells Joro to go find a book in the library called I Am a Cat by Natsume Soseki. And like, so he kind of goes and he is looking for the books in the bookshelves and he overhears that whole conversation with like Sun-chan and stuff. Like, I think, I forgot who's talking at that point, but like in the book, I Am a Cat, the cat is like an observer and is just like observing like all these conversations and like what's going on with this like human family.
Well, didn't Joro end up snapping at Cosmos and Himawari?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty good, but shit hit the fan anyways.
Basically.
So, yeah, and then this is where it turns out that Sun-chan is actually kind of the bad guy here.
Yeah, that was surprising. And like she also like she hands what'd she do? She hands Sun-chan like the book, like The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, to like prove her point that like Joro has this weird dual personality where he's like Dr. Jekyll sometimes and he's Mr. Hyde other times. So I was just laughing at all like the literary references at this whole thing. But yeah, I was surprised when like Sun-chan admitted that he like kind of hated Joro for the same reasons Joro hated him. Like when they were younger, a girl had a crush on Joro and like Sun-chan was in love with her. This is like elementary school. Yeah. And so he's kind of held that grudge the whole time. And so has kind of wanted to get back at him. And this whole situation kind of presented itself. And like, so he took advantage of it.
At this point, this is when I was like, wow, this is such a shit show with all these romances going on. But that's what's entertaining about it. It's just like, how fucking weird and confusing can we get with all this fucking relationship stuff?
Mm-hmm. And like, it's just like weird how like the main girl, like Pansy, just like sitting in the library, just like letting all of this shit play out or like, you know, prompting it basically. And then, but like, yeah, like Sun-chan, like literally, he like threatens to like assault her at one point because he doesn't know that Joro's like hiding in the library also. And I was like, I thought Sun-chan was just like a really nice guy. Now he's done this in like complete 180 into like where he's just like a despicable piece of shit basically. Yeah. That was kind of surprising. Like, I'll say like that definitely surprised me because I kind of liked the setup where like, oh, he's kind of screwed because this like perfect guy who's like really nice and like there's nothing wrong with him is the guy who like the two girls he's in love with like want to go out with, and how is he going to get over that hump like basically. But now it's just like completely turned on its head, which is surprising.
Which is, I also liked it because I didn't see it coming until it happened. So that's always nice when that happens.
And then, like, at the very end, you find out, like, Cosmos and Himawari were both listening in the library the whole time. So they heard everything that went on, like, with this whole conversation between Joro and Sun-chan and Pansy, and, like... So, like, at that point, I'm like, this is just kind of gonna turn into your average harem now, isn't it? Because they all know the truth. Like, usually you would drag this out longer. But now they all know that, like, Joro's, like, kind of a nice guy. Like, at least, like, not what they thought.
Yep.
And, like, Sun-chan is an asshole. So are they all going to just go after Joro now? Is it just
I don't
gonna
know.
Be,
but there was one thing with this episode that happened that I didn't like a lot. And that's when, so Joro finally gets interested in Pansy. And why? It's because of her body.
Yeah. Also, like, okay, she tells that whole story about, like, how she was, like, at the baseball game and, like, met this guy being, like, really nice, and it was clearly Joro, and he was like, that must have been her. But then, like, he has that realization again later when she, like, takes her, like, glasses off for once and, like, shows off, like, what she really looks like. I thought he had already put that together, but apparently he was so stupid, like, he still didn't realize, like, oh no, she actually looks gorgeous too, like, the girl that I remembered from that day.
Yeah.
That seemed really dumb.
One of the other interesting things about Pansy is she has the same voice actress as Zero Two. And I feel like the character's written a lot in the same way that she's very, like, teasing with the guy she likes.
Yeah, for sure.
Like just, like, so 100%. And then you get the same voice actor, and I was like, I don't know, I'm just seeing too much of it, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, there was, like, one last literary reference in this episode where, like, Pansy is comparing him to, like, the tortoise in the hair, like the tortoise in that story from Aesop's Fables, like, because he's just so fucking slow. I thought that was funny. But
yeah. One of the interesting things going in episode 4 is that they are 100% going with Joro's whole motivation is Pansy's body.
Yeah, for sure.
I was like, I
love her personality. That's the thing. Like, I
do too. I like her personality.
I don't know why he hates her so much. Like, he keeps talking about
that's the
how
thing that feels
he
so
hates
weird
her.
to me. Yeah.
Like, there's really no reason for him to hate her. Like, it would make more sense if there was some reason, but he
it
doesn't
really seems like it's her
have
appearance,
one.
though.
Well,
like,
didn't it in the earlier episodes he thought she was ugly also?
Yeah, and he's, like, really angry at her for, like, being ugly.
If that's the case, then, like, he would not hate her anymore once he knows that she's not ugly. Like, I just don't get it. It's shallow, and, like, there's not a lot of explanation on what's going on there.
Yeah, that's true.
So
what else happens in episode 4? It gets
don't they have that a weird dance for the school?
Oh, the flower dance thing. Yeah.
Oh,
and
which was so obvious. Like, what's going to end up
one
happening?
guy is drawn to dance with 3 females.
I know, and I'm just like,
can't
really?
possibly guess who will be chosen.
This is what you've done. Like, I was annoyed. I was like, this is like such a plot device at this point. You know?
I'm also having trouble remembering what happened in this episode. But,
Well, they all kind of, like, make up with Joro. Like, Himawari is first, and, like, that scene where they make up, like, these two are, like, made for each other, in my opinion, because they're both just unbelievable idiots. And the way they make up is so stupid. Like, I was just sitting there, like, rolling my eyes back into my head, just laughing. There was also that, like, weird meta moment early in the episode where, like, Pansy's talking about, like, something from, like, another world or whatever, and Joro's like, hey, it's too soon to insert an another world battle subplot into this show. It's episode 4. We can't do that yet. I actually kind of liked that self-awareness. Like, a lot of shows would go that way at this point because they're, like, past the initial, like, bullshit with the romance, and it's like, what do we do for the rest of the show?
Yeah.
There's also a pretty funny scene when Pansy is all for her self-motivation, says she will help Sun-chan and Himawari study just so it'll free up time from Joro so that he can take her somewhere. And just the way she did it and talked about it was pretty funny.
That was
to
pretty
me.
cute. Yeah.
I like that too.
And he, like, makes friends with, like, Sun-chan again too, and, like, so they make up, like, they kind of, like, clear the air between them. And then just like the funny joke at the end is that like he totally forgot to make up with Cosmos. She's like stalking him around the school, like, when is he gonna make up with me? He finally remembers. And, like,
So,
goes to
what was
mix
the
up
mannequin thing? I forgot about that.
the mannequin thing.
Somebody was practicing with a mannequin. I forgot what it was.
I don't even remember that. I don't know.
Okay. So, like we just said, like the whole episode ends with everybody making up, and it just felt too positive.
Yeah.
So where are they going with this? I don't.
Because and then Joro at the end of the episode is like, huh, now I'm in a situation where I could bang all three of these girls.
God damn it.
And I think that's probably what's going to happen is he's just going to he's going to fuck things up for himself by getting too greedy, basically. But it's basically a normal harem setup now. After,
I was getting ready to say, are you afraid it's just going to be like any other harem from this point on? Or are they going to keep up with the...
No, I think they're still going to keep up with the plot devices because you see that little clip of...
Coming out of left field where we're like, oh, we weren't expecting that. No, this is a different harem than usual, but... I mean, we'll find out, I guess.
Well, there's the foreshadowing because the newspaper girl at the school has written a story about
Asunaro.
Yeah,
she's the news ace. Yeah. It's kind of nice to get to meet her. She doesn't seem to be infatuated with Joro yet, I guess.
No, but she has written a story about how he's playing all three of these girls at the same time.
Yeah, that's what I meant. I think they're still going to continue. There's going to continue to be plot devices like that to keep it, interesting.
And I was with Leo because Leo's why would these girls believe this? But then I thought to myself, well, they are idiots. Himikawa and Cosmos are kind of morons, so they might believe this.
Yeah.
So I think they'll keep it interesting with that kind of thing. Just just wrenches thrown in the plans of Joro, and Joro being an asshole and Pansy having to save him from himself, basically.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I think that it'll continue going, but I'm curious to see what it does now.
Definitely will find out. But I guess we can start with some Dr. Stone.
Okay,
so this Dr. Stone surprised me this time. It actually had some pretty decent plot development. Because for a while it's been kind of sort of arts and crafts with
Okay, I will agree with you on episode 15. When we get to episode 16, I will not.
Because for the last, I'd say 5 or 6 episodes, it's been it's arts and crafts time with Senku. It hasn't really felt interesting anymore. Not strongly anyway, but then it got better. So, okay.
Yeah, episode 15, it was funny because Ginro... Because, at this point, everybody's oh, well, Senku can just, fight Chrome, but, Chrome could win and he can marry Ruri. And I'm yes, exactly, that's the whole plan. But then Ginro's but what if I married Ruri?
Yeah, and his fucking crazy face was so good. He's completely lost his fucking mind. He's just what?
Yeah, he tries to beat up Senku, and Chrome throws Senku that broken watermelon, and he just uses the extra leverage of that with his stick to just hit Ginro in the balls really, really hard, which Ginro kind of deserves at this point. Come on.
I'll also say all the other shock faces this whole episode were just really, really good.
Oh yeah, no, they're good.
They were so funny. Also, I told you that Senku would win the fucking tournament.
And you were fucking right.
And Kat was you're fucking wrong. There's no way Senku will win the tournament. It doesn't make any sense. And I'm no, it makes perfect sense. It's the only sense it makes. He's going to become the chief of the village. It makes so much sense to me.
Oh God. I was so annoyed when that happened because I was wait, he's not going to marry Ruri too. He's not going to be that oblivious. Chrome obviously has to marry Ruri. And I'm just oh God. Well, but he accepts the winner because then he can continue with the research they need to do to finalize those drugs for Ruri because her time is almost up. She's coughing blood and stuff.
It's also really funny when like the village chief is like, "This will not stand," and Senku's like, "Oh, nobody cares about your opinion, old village chief or former village chief." And I was just like, "Oh, burn."
So I was like upset at this point because I was like, "Is he gonna fucking like marry Ruri? Is this gonna be stupid?" Then he like immediately divorces Ruri.
Yeah,
and runs off with like the
which
alcohol.
I'm pretty sure
vinegar.
that's exactly what I said was going to happen too. Like,
that's pretty good.
I don't know.
Honestly.
It felt totally laid out to turn out like it did to me.
Yeah.
Oh, and then he runs off, like you said, and they start making the drug, and the
Yeah.
science just got way too heavy-handed.
It's a lot. Like, it's like that whole flow chart that Kat was like complaining about a few episodes back. It's like, it's impossible to follow, so you just kind of have to go with it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like, yeah.
It was annoying.
It basically, like they tell you, like it took them like 6 months of work to get here, but they finally produced like sulfanilamide or whatever, or mide. Whatever it's called.
Then Mecha Senku show up and he starts explaining stuff? And
I think so.
That thing's so fucking random.
Well, I feel like he's going to have a mech at some point in this story, and that's why there's like a Mecha Senku right now. Because like he's probably going to build a mech to like defeat like the villagers or like the whatever his name's clan, Tsukasa's clan. But that's still far off, probably.
So the scene where Senku is giving Ruri the drug. Did you feel like you accidentally opened the link to Pornhub and found like some
I made
Dr.
a comment.
Stone fucking hentai, and you're just like, what?
I was like, really, you had to feed it to her like that? You're that
She's like down
desperate.
on her knees. Yeah.
You're that desperate that you need the fan service that bad. It was pretty ridiculous. She like stuck her whole tongue out, didn't she? And he's
she's
like
on her knees, her eyes are rolled back in his head. Senku has like a malicious look on his face. He's like, as he's pouring it into her mouth, and it's fucking white, and it's Jesus Christ.
Like, I'm pretty sure you'd have to really strain to get your tongue that far out of your damn mouth. I'm pretty sure that's not something a weak, on the point of death person would do, you stupid bitch. I don't know. I got pissed off at that part.
Yeah, and it didn't help that I felt like the cliffhanger at the end was cheap. She's like, I've always known your full name, Senku. End episode. And it's just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, there's that whole thing where like they're not sure if the drugs will work because like they dissect this rat in the village and they find that like, oh, it had a bacterial infection, and he's like, well, if it's tuberculosis, we're fucked. Because if it's tuberculosis, like the sulfa drugs might not be able to kill that off.
Yeah, that was still some more of that heavy-handed science they were going with there.
Yeah, but then finally he determines basically that it's just pneumonia, and like the pneumococcus bacteria that leads to pneumonia.
Yeah, he finds that out because like
wrecked.
her symptoms suddenly get worse, and that tells him that that's the ammonia basically making a last ditch effort to, I guess, survive or whatever.
Yeah, I liked that because like everybody's like super concerned because her symptoms got worse, and he's, a man of science and knows like, oh, we're saved. Like her symptoms got worse. That's the best thing that could have happened because that's the way I know that these drugs will work on this.
Yeah.
Also, he found the time to make Coke, which he said was like, what was it? Like carbonated water, cilantro, lime, and honey caramel.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, interesting.
He said you'd be surprised at how much this tastes like actual Coke.
Oh yeah, if you just like mix like a couple of those ingredients, like cilantro and lime or something, he said like you like rub them together or something, like it almost smells exactly like Coke or something like that. Yeah, that was interesting.
So episode 16, I kind of hated.
Well, it was another flashback episode, and you guys hated the last flashback episode.
Yeah, I felt like it was super boring, and like it really only raised questions. So like Senku's dad, he eventually becomes an astronaut and he gets to go to space, and he's up there with like a singer and like 3 other people he meets at like the space station. And Bcom, you pointed out that everybody looks very similar to everybody in the village.
Yeah, and I was like, is this just the
later
character design or is this something else? Well, I kind of figured out what was happening like as soon as they launched. But,
the singer is like 100% looks like Kohaku and Ruri.
And Ruri,
like,
yeah, exactly.
But so they're up there and they're doing all kinds of fun stuff. And eventually they witness the petrification happening. there was kind of two things I thought was weird. So it basically turned out that it had been like days that sparrows were turning into stone.
Yeah, I remember that part where they're
over like a couple of days, which was strange. But when they witnessed the petrification happen, it's like instantaneous. Like you see it suddenly engulf the entire world and it gets everything.
Well, but I think the idea is that it affected like the upper atmosphere first, and then like all of a sudden it spread really fast to the lower.
But then they showed it as like a blast, and like it looks like it had an origin point, and I think it was kind of the North Pole. I couldn't really tell by the how they showed the planet, but it looks like it had like I just said, an origin point. So I wonder, does that mean it was man-made? Possibly.
Maybe. I don't know. It's so mysterious. I don't know what caused it.
I don't know. The things that like really kind of bugged me about this is like, first of all, they had astronaut couples on this spaceship, and that's just kind of bullshit. Like that would never happen. They have never let a couple be on a spaceship on purpose. There was one couple who like hid the fact that they were dating and got on, but like they were pissed when they found out. So
yeah, I thought I remembered like some husband and wife astronaut thing at one point, but yeah, like it's rare. It's obviously extremely rare because like the qualifications to become an astronaut are insanely high. So like the likelihood that like a husband and wife would make it together is crazy. So
yeah. There's also at the end of the episode, the astronauts decide they need to go back to Earth, and this bothered me a little bit because they like planned to go like back to Earth like within a week. So they would have gotten back, let's say, early enough to like Senku's dad could have recovered his son's stone body. Mm-hmm. But
I did wonder that. I was like, why didn't his dad go look for the body?
Yeah, and the thing is, where the village is, they obviously landed not close enough.
I don't know. Maybe he just assumed like I'll never find him. Maybe he just assumed like, well, it's going to be difficult or whatever.
Well, no, school was in session. He knew to go to the school to locate his son's body.
And also,
I mean, come on.
Okay, but like also you got to think like they don't know how to fix the petrification. So like, what good is finding his body going to do him?
He could have still at least relocated it to like a safe place or something. I
guess. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I actually really like this episode for the most part. The only parts that I got irritated with were the astronaut couples. And then they kept hinting. It felt like maybe this young, like, starlit chick and Senku's dad were going to get together. And
100%.
That really pissed me off. And I was just like, really?
So we know their genes went on somehow. And we know hers definitely did. Yeah. So we're like, oh, yeah. and it 100% looked like Senku's dad's the one who's going to fucking bang the hot diva.
Know. And I'm like, that's bullshit. And then like the age gap between them, like let alone. And then also like, because there are hotter dudes on that thing. You don't like a
little silver fox?
Well, okay, like, but there are hotter dudes on that fucking ship, okay? Like, that's not going to happen. They're not going to be like, well, I'm going to fuck this dude.
You're just talking about the blonde guy, probably, right?
Yeah, well, I'm just saying that the probability is low that would happen. And second of all, doesn't that mean that Senku can't be with the, with any of these blonde chicks? Because, like, they're technically related to him?
Well, think about how incesty like that entire village must be.
Real quick. Okay, so like their gene pool would have been so diluted at this point that it probably would have had no repercussions. But like Bcom's getting ready to say, if there was 3 couples that started this village, there's some pretty serious incest happening early on.
Oh man,
there's no way around it.
Well, yeah,
it'd be pretty bad.
But like, I'm just thinking like Kohaku, like, oh no. And if they do get together, which I always felt like maybe they would.
Maybe that explains their wide eyes, Bcom.
Oh.
It's a mutation based on the incest over like thousands of years.
But yeah, so if she and Kohaku do get together, like I'm not going to be able to think of that in a good way. I'm going to be like, oh, every time I think about it.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. I liked how they explained like Byakuya, or at least him and the others were the ones who like handed down all those like 100 stories or whatever, and that's why like they have some knowledge of the past, and like the 100th story is the one that's about Senku, and that's how she knows his name. But yeah, makes sense. I don't know. Like, yeah, it all kind of weirded me out, the whole, like, what the logistics of what they would have had to do with their children to create a society. It also, even though it's like the same group of people, it kind of surprises me because they're smart astronauts, right? Like, none of them figured out, like, the formula to, like, unpetrify people in their time living, like. And then just, the incest stuff would have been so awkward.
Oh, okay. I was just thinking of this. So what was it, like 2,000 some years since the petrification happened, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And this village is only, what, 20 people?
Yeah,
30?
exactly. That's the other thing I'm surprised by. Like, why is their gene pool like so diluted? I mean, I guess because they couldn't get anybody else up, but you would think
they
like,
haven't unfrozen anyone.
yeah, I guess people would still look just like them. Like, I mean, you think about like Genghis Khan and how he like had sex with thousands and thousands and thousands of Asian women, and so his genes are reportedly like spread throughout that whole entire region. Like years and years and years later. But like still, and I guess this is like a more limited scope of that, where it's like even more controlled gene pool. I don't know. It just seems kind of nuts that they even survived to this point. But yeah.
Bizarre. Oh god, you went fucking ham on this character sheet for Chihayafuru.
There's a lot of
Holy
important characters.
Fuck. No, it's more like you're obsessed with this show. And
I only listed 20 characters.
Yeah, look at it. Like, I could look at the other shows we've covered and been like, oh, you could have added 3 or 4 more people in here. But no, Chihayafuru has all 20 characters.
I'm disgusted with you, Bcom.
It not only has the characters, but also like what school they're with, like what Karate society and their class. Yep. Which helps because, like, since you guys haven't watched any of the fucking show,
you need help is what needs to be done. We need an intermission here. This is bad.
Chihayafuru season 3, episodes 3 and 4. So Chihaya, Taichi, and Arata, they're all playing at this Tokyo Karate tournament. This is where we're reintroduced to the former queen of Karate.
So, did the show intentionally call itself out on how big anime eyes are getting?
Yeah, because they're like, her eyes are so big.
Okay. I watched that and I was like, is this like literally making fun of like, because like anime eyes are get so big lately, or it's just like this just happens to be unique to this one character?
I didn't think of it that way when I was watching, but like, yeah, you're right. I mean, her eyes are even like bigger than other characters. Like, they're just so wide and big. But yeah, she's interesting because she's like a mom and she's been away from Karate for like a couple years. She's had 2 kids and
maternity leave.
Yeah, she still wants to come back though. And like Midori, who's like the coach of the Fujisaki school, she used to be rivals with Haruka. And so like she kind of talks to her and she's like, man, it must have taken a lot of passion to come back after like having 2 kids and still want to be at the top of your game. But like a lot of pro athletes do that. They have a kid and they get like right back into form. But it is tough. I'm not going to say it's not easy to do. So it's still pretty interesting. There's the big like scene between Arata and Taichi. Like, these two haven't really talked to each other in a long time. Like had like a serious conversation. They start like talking about just like memorization, and Arata kind of helps Taichi out because he tells him like, yeah, I look over the cards before the game, but then like whenever the cards get moved, I just forget what I've memorized and just rememorize the entire board. And Taichi's like, are you insane? Because like what you normally do is just like, like 1 or 2 things have moved, all of my previous memorization still works. But like for Arata, apparently that just doesn't work out. He always gets confused, and so he finds it easier to just rememorize everything. And which is interesting for Taichi, because like Taichi's memorization is probably his strongest point. That in his like strategy, like he's pretty smart. And so that is something that he kind of is going to try to incorporate into his game as he goes on. But then like there's this kind of like awkward moment between them because Arata lets them know that he wants to build his own karate club. And this is like the last place where Taichi was kind of safe from Arata, who is like a genius at Garda, was because like they didn't have to face him in team matches. Like that's where he and Chihaya could like prove that they were really good. But now Arata wants to do that too, and so he kind of gets like annoyed and also jealous when Arata's like really impressed that Chihaya was the one that put the team together, and he kind of like storms off and he's pissed. And the other major subplot of this episode is just like Chihaya's advisor, Miyauchi, talking with Midori and asking her if like Chihaya has what it takes to become the queen. Because like she was really moved when like Chihaya wrote on her like future like career form, whatever, that she wants to be like a teacher and a karate club advisor, which is exactly what Miyauchi is. And so now she wants to do like everything she can to like help Chihaya like achieve what she set out to become. The other thing was like I guys probably noticed like Kanade getting really excited about the dude reading the cards, which is like a really nerdy thing. Basically, she has made it known that like she maybe wants to become a reader at some point, and like to become a karate reader, you have to make class A, and then you have to like.
Flower blossoms bound.
What the fuck?
That's what it sounds like. Really bad singing to me.
Oh, really? I don't know. I think it sounds
like
pretty
I hear it and I kind of like cringe back in the chair, and I don't the way they're singing it. I don't.
Well, it's
like
not really singing. It's like a chant almost. It's
unnerving to me.
There's a really good YouTube video of like a Japanese woman reading through all of the poems, and it also has like just water sounds in the background and stuff. Like that shit's really nice. I will link you that.
I can't figure out how anybody would get into this game because they'd be like, "All right, here's my pitch. First, you got to memorize 100 poems. I'm out. I'm immediately out. What the fuck? Why would anybody want to do that?"
Because it's fun, man. Like,
okay, so I got a couple questions. Bcom, when they're playing the game,
yeah,
are you like enraptured into it, like to see what happens next?
I'm pretty excited, yeah, because like if you had watched the entire show, you would realize why it's interesting.
That doesn't make any sense to me because I'm watching and there's like nothing like a big play, like a grand slam or anything like that. It's just, oh, somebody swiped the card this time or they blocked it this time. And nothing else can absolutely happen.
Well, you can fault, and so you can get like 2 cards on the same play, basically.
Oh, there's a third one? Holy shit, we're expanding our options. Yeah. I mean, to me, it's just them swiping another card across the room, and I don't get
they make
what
some cards more
attention.
Important than others. Because like certain people are better at getting certain cards. That's like the thing they've established in this show. Like Chihaya is really good at getting the card that starts with like a chi sound because it's like her name, so she hears that card really well. And so if she gets that card taken off of her, that like shifts the whole momentum of the game in the other person's favor because she gets like psychologically demoralized by that. So that's one way in like which taking one card can be different from just taking another card.
There's
like different types of cards basically, obviously too, but yeah, like so if somebody's really good at taking the cards that you can recognize with just one syllable and they get those cards taken off of them, they get pretty upset.
Shit, man, they're not even doing syllables. They're doing it like the first like pitch of a fucking note at this point.
Yeah, pretty much.
What?
It's pretty intense. Yeah. Like in the match between like who was it? Like, well, it's in the second episode really, but like yeah, in the first episode it was like Chihaya's big matches against that Takemura guy who used to be, or he was like a runner-up in the last like Meijin match, which is like the King's
but he got like
match.
Crushed.
Yeah, he got crushed by Suo, and he didn't play for like half a year, and so he was out of practice. And like,
I love how Cass like just checked out, and she's like, just fucking finish the show.
I'm like trying to catch up from the beginning, and so I'm just like,
yeah.
Like,
I have a question
it'll be more interesting.
in the next episode that I ask is, Kat, has this show grown on you anymore? Because I know that we both are kind of indifferent about it at first, and I'm just like, I'm not even going to ask that question now. I think it's pretty fucking clear.
It may get better as I continue to watch season 1. I don't know. We'll see.
Like one of the moments in that match is like interesting is that like Chihaya and Haruka both take that chi card like insanely fast, and not only that, but like the exact same time, so that the cards like collide with each other in midair. And so they both get up and they're like, "Huh, oh, that's my card. This is your card, okay." And everybody watching is like, "Shit, they're both on point today." Like if they face each other, it's gonna be intense. And so of course in the next round they face each other. And so like also like all 4 players from like Chihaya's like Karate Society have made it into that round, which is pretty cool. They've never done that before, and that's why they're like, well, we're gonna treat this like a team tournament basically, because even if 2 of us make it through, like if the other 2 like tired out our opponents, then we've helped our teammates basically.
So something kind of funny to show you how uninterested in this show is. My mind went on a fucking tangent about breastfeeding in public because of a fucking scene in here.
Yeah.
And like I could see how some people be offended they see somebody breastfeeding in public, and I get that, but I also get the point of view they need to breastfeed also. But I kind of like the happy medium that it showed in this
covering
episode,
with a little, like, blanket,
because she had like a little blanket that would that could go right around her and the baby, so like she could still breastfeed in public, but then also nobody had to see it. And I was like, all right, I kind of like the happy medium, and that's what I took from the fucking episode.
The whole episode, yeah,
the whole episode.
Well, I mean, that's interesting though. Still, like, Kat, do you have any thoughts on breastfeeding in public? Like, do you think people should like cover themselves or like not? Like, yeah.
No. Okay. So I don't think people should just be like walking around with nothing on at all, because you know,
just a tit hanging out of the fucking shirt.
Like we're not at that point as a society. I really don't actually think that that's a bad thing. Like I've been to nudist places, but like you know, we're not there as a society. Whatever. But like, have you ever like sat next to a woman when she's breastfeeding and like trying to cover?
Yeah.
Like the baby gets really pissed because like it's why the fuck you putting this thing on my head? Like, leave me the fuck alone. I'm trying to eat. And
I don't know. I feel like the baby would just be so interested in being fed that it wouldn't care that there's a blanket over it.
The baby is never that interested. It's actually quite frustrating sometimes because the mom is like trying to get it to take the nipple, and the baby's just like, and like being a pain in the ass. And like, you know what, if she's trying her best and she's just doing what she's got to do, like she's not doing it for you, just like don't look, just like walk away. It's not a big deal. It doesn't have to be a big deal. I guarantee if you're over the age of like 15, you have seen a boob before, so like you don't need to see that one. You can look it up on Pornhub if you really want to stare at something.
Yeah, right.
And it's whatever. So
the thing to me that
how we've just totally devolved in talking about breastfeeding.
Oh, I'm like, yes, something to talk about.
Not even talking about Chihayafuru anymore.
But there's like another angle I wanted to talk about with the breastfeeding too, because like it's well established in the show that like say like professional chess players, like I read an article like 2 years ago that like sometimes chess players during a tournament will drop like 20 pounds from playing chess.
They're just like stressing out that hard.
They're stressing their brains so much that it's burning calories like crazy. And like they just lose so much weight. And like so it's been established in Chihayafuru that like these players who are playing for hours and hours and hours thinking like at top speed, like they need to eat, and like it's like in between the last match and this match, like people gave Chihaya chocolate.
That, like they're getting like super fatigued, like they're fucking running laps or something like that, and they're like breathing heavy, and I'm like, okay, I don't know how much this is true, but whatever.
Oh no, it's like a super tiring fucking game. You're on your knees, you're constantly thinking at top speed, and you're also trying to react really quickly. So people get like sweaty, they get tired, and they've been playing for hours also was the other thing.
Yeah, I saw that. Was it like 6 hours? They were like 6 hours into the game or something like that.
Yeah, because you can only get like these people together like on like one day, typically like a couple days a year maybe. And so you have to do it all at once, and it's just a fucking grueling thing. And so, yeah, I was like thinking about the breastfeeding. I was like, man, like, what is she eating in between matches? Because, like, not only is she, like, feeding herself, she's feeding her baby. Like, how is she, like, keeping enough calories to get through all this shit?
She's fine. Breastfeeding is like some calories, but it's not like you're eating for double or something.
Oh, okay. So it's not that
right.
bad then.
Yeah, I think it's like what, an extra 300 or 400 calories.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's interesting.
It's not that bad. It's okay.
Yeah, so like the match goes on with like Haruka and Chihaya, and like Chihaya is taking some of like Rion's advice. She's like the girl from Fujisaki who is like, oh, I listen to like whether a syllable is high or low in pitch to help me differentiate in sounds. And Chihaya gets off to like a quick start with that, but then Haruka, who is way more experienced, is like, no, bro, there's like a million qualities to a sound. It's a strong or weak syllable. It's feminine or it's masculine. It's soft or it's sharp. It's Eastern or Western dialect. And it's like, dude, how can you hear all of that? But apparently she can hear all of that. And so she comes like right back. And so, yeah, basically at the end of this episode, like they're not only Chihaya's match, but all of the matches have become like very tight. Because like at one point, like their Karate Society coach Harada like yells out like, "I got there in time," which is really bad etiquette. You're not supposed to yell during a match.
I was sitting there thinking, I was like, I feel like just talking in general is just like outright forbidden, since everybody has to listen to the guy up front.
I think you can get away with it, like that pseudo guy who like tries to get in like Taichi's skin, like, are you in love with Chihaya? Like, and all that stuff. Like, I think if you're quiet enough, you could probably get away with it, but you're not supposed to yell. You're not supposed to make loud noises that could affect other people's concentration, basically. So, yeah. So it's interesting. All of these matches are really close going into the next episode, and I'll be curious to see what happens from there. But, yeah, it's fun times. I'm glad you're loving this show, guys, and very excited.
You should have known better than to pick a show that none of us have seen but you.
I told you a year ago to catch up. A year ago.
Yeah, but like, bleh.
Okay.
Bcom, this is another show about sports and moody teens. You should have known. I was already out.
See,
100%.
For me, it's not even that. It's just like there's 2 seasons I have to catch up on.
I want to give an update on the Mal score thing. Okay. Where like people were review bombing this show. So it's down. It was down below 7, but it's back to 7.0 right now. And there was like another reason I saw thrown about why it got review bombed, and it was that the author of the Chihayafuru manga had liked a tweet in support of the Hong Kong protests. Oh. And so people were saying that like some guy didn't like that and then made a whole bunch of bot accounts to just give Chihayafuru 3 a 1 on Mal.
I love how contentious the score has become. It's like a battle over the score.
It's kind of insane.
Mal is not even that big anymore because like once it got rid of its mobile app, I feel like its reach has shrunk like drastically.
I think it's still by far the most popular site for tracking anime, though.
It's still popular, and I still use it. It's just that I used to go on that site like several times a day on my phone, and I just don't anymore. Like I'll go on when I have to, but I don't go on nearly as much. Like they really shot themselves in the foot when they did that. It was really stupid.
Well, yeah, I mean they got hacked basically or whatever. Like I can't remember what happened,
but
like they had to take their API down.
They never put an effort in to like fix it and get the site back.
I think they're still working on it, and it's kind of why like they don't have time to deal with this like Chihayafuru problem.
It's been too long for them to still be working on it. Okay.
Yeah, I kind of agree. They've been really slow in getting back up, and I've started using like AnyList.com like as like an alternative as well. So, yeah, Mal's got to get their shit together. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we got one last show to talk about: the Vinland Saga. Episodes 15 and 16.
Oh, so a funny thing happened to me when I started this episode.
Yeah.
I wasn't getting any visual. I was just getting the subtitles and audio. So I was sitting here and I was like, are they fucking cutting corners like this? at first, but then like it turned out my computer or the internet was just doing something weird, and like so I rewound it and watched it with the visuals. So I was like, oh, it's okay. But like, dude, I was so getting ready to fucking bitch about that so hard.
There is a scene where Canute is being carried over someone's shoulder, and he's like beating the back, and it's very obvious that they just repeated the same frames over and over and over. And I was like, well, that's a cut corner.
Yeah.
So for me to notice it is a big deal because, like, I usually don't give a shit about that stuff. So
Yeah, so in the first scene, it's like the king talking with like that one dickwad and his like general or something like that, and it just really, really feels like he doesn't give a shit about Canute. Which at the end of the episode we find out for sure, but like here it's just like I don't think he cares about his son.
Oh, I
at
knew
all.
that from like the point where they talked about the battle, like several episodes ago, because he was just have him go into battle. Like you could tell he's like, maybe I'll die, and then I won't have to deal with this.
But also, like, I feel like he doesn't like the other son either, like Harold or whatever, the other guy, like, because he kind of wishes that Canute would be a better leader. Because he doesn't like Harold either, so like he sends Canute off to die, like but also he
Which
might
we find
become
out at the end of the episode.
Yeah,
was his intention for him to die.
But I don't think that was his only intention. I think that's wrong. Like I think his intention was like for him to either die or become battle hardened. Like, and he might believe like, oh, there's no way he's gonna make it. But like if he does make it, then he has a reason to like prop him up over Harold. So yeah. I don't know. I just thought that, like, I think, like, he probably thought, like, there's a 90% chance Canute's just going to die, yeah. But I don't think that's necessarily what he wanted to happen.
I don't know. He reacted pretty ridiculously when he cooked him that meal.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe he just doesn't give a shit about either of his sons, and he's just like, you know what? This isn't my problem.
We will get to waifu Canute in a minute. But there was a scene that happened shortly after the very opening where like one of the guys, the Vikings or whatever, gets asked if they want the roasted or boiled pork. Mm-hmm. And I was like, when would you ever pick boiled over roasted?
Agreed.
What?
I would never pick boiled over roasted either.
I'm like, roasted is always going to taste 110% better. I was also really the attention to detail the show would do for like really small things, like how Bjorn ate that mushroom and that was actually a thing with the Vikings. Yeah, they called them whatever
berserkers,
and like that berserkers, and that was a literal thing that happened. They would consume a mushroom and go crazy on the battlefield. But what they got this time was kind of like the sound of kind of freshly fallen snow. How it just like swallows up the rest of the sound around you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because the ear guy can't hear like how far away they are. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was just like, wow, I really just like that attention to detail.
Because it's very accurate. Like that is the thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, have you ever wondered why when you go out and it's a fresh snowfall, like why everything is so quiet as opposed to
that's
a
what
regular?
I'm saying, because I knew you would know what I was talking about, Kat, and I figured Bcom would too. But you walk outside and you're just like, this sounds extremely different than it did yesterday. What is going on?
It is, yeah. It's a pretty cool feeling when you go out, like say on like Christmas morning or something. It like snowed the night before, and you just go outside to like check, and it's just like so quiet.
The only thing you hear is the crunching of the snow under your feet. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's crazy. There's also a scene where like Canute has an outburst, and he's like, "Every father loves his own child," and I'm just like, "Yeah, you might want to rethink that. You didn't see the beginning of this episode like I did."
Yeah.
Well, I think that's more his like naive wanting that to be true, because I think even in the back of his head he knows that that's not really true, but that's like a lie that he's been fed in order to comfort him.
Or I think it's more of a lie he's telling himself.
It's also like, I think why he is so invested in like Christ and Christianity, because like this is like a holy father who will like love you unconditionally, and he has no father of his own who would really love him. Like I feel like he's like kind of run away to Christianity in order to like find something that he has been missing, basically. Same with like Ragnar. Ragnar has obviously been like his father figure. Yeah.
Yeah, so, and this is pretty much the next scene is when they made Canute into a waifu. He's like cooking. He's got the hair pulled back. It's like, oh, everything I wanted in a waifu. And I was just laughing so fucking hard. I was like, I cannot believe they just fucking did this.
He's waifu in King's body, basically.
Pretty much is what they did. And it's also really interesting because this is probably the first meal that Thorfinn has had eating in company of others since he left his home.
Yeah.
So, like, this is a big step for him, I feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I was really happy when they finally decided to kill off Ragnar, because I couldn't stand that guy. Like, he was just so annoying in the ways that he was constantly, like, stick up for Canute. And like,
yeah, and I was like, well, at least Canute had Ragnar as a father figure for a while. And
yeah,
Canute's
basically.
life sucks. Yeah.
But like, hopefully Ragnar's death is going to be like the first catalyst that like makes Canute realize like I need to become my own man now. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I think you're siding with Askeladd a little bit when I say you're stretching that, thinking Canute's. I would have given up on this guy so fucking hard. Like, you are. I mean, like, I would have given you like a chance or two, but then like after just like utterly failing like both chances you were giving, I would just been like, dude, you're not going to amount to shit.
Yeah, for sure.
But one of the last things that happens at the end of the episode is that King Swin, we find out he intentionally did send Canute to die.
Mm-hmm. According to, was that according to like Ragnar, basically? It says that like in his like dying words to Askeladd or something, I think.
Maybe.
Something like that. I can't remember exactly who told us, but yeah.
Yeah, and going to the next episode, like you, I was like, is this going to greatly change Canute or not? But then like Askeladd has like such this positive thinking that he could actually make something of Canute, and I'm just like, man, this guy, nah, he's too much of a wuss. I don't see how he could be, like, I cannot see how he could be a king and anybody would want to follow him.
Well, and like also like all of Askeladd's men agree with you. Because they're like, why are we protecting this like waifu who's not clearly never going to become a king? And and Askeladd's like the only one sticking up for him, and he finally gets into trouble because his men turn on him, basically.
Well, I think sometimes the best leaders are the ones who weren't always like the dominant, strong person, though. But yeah, right now he's pretty weak sauce. He like needs to buff himself up.
Yeah, I can understand totally how it's like difficult for them to see like how he could change into becoming like a leader, because at this point he hasn't shown anything, and they've lost faith in Askeladd too, because like they seem to be like very superstitious, because like they're all talking about like the luck that's on Askeladd's side and how it's just been running out recently, because like they detoured through Wales to like lose Thorkel, and like they didn't lose him. He's still on their heels, so. And like all these bad things have been happening to them,
then,
like the weather,
the big
everything.
snowstorm, yeah.
Also, I laughed so hard at the end of the episode when Thorkel threw that spear through like 4 guys from like 500 yards away.
Oh yeah. Well,
just so
Thorkel's
ridiculous.
been shown to basically be superhuman.
Yeah, he's
mostly
like
at this
a
point.
demigod of the battlefield kind of thing.
Yeah, I also like the Askeladd's speech about how the Anglos and Saxons invading the land and taking it from the Celts is no different than what he and the Danes are doing now.
Right.
Which
Yes, I like that too, because
which really made me think about how America came over. Well, Americans now, and they like basically took the land from the Native Americans. So.
Well,
I
also think it's just like any culture ever. Like we've all been. None of us is innocent or like, oh, we haven't done these things. Like all societies do this shit to each other.
Hey, Kat, no empire has lasted to this day.
Yeah.
You can call the American Empire an empire, technically, but it's not doing so well right now, I would say.
Yep.
But yeah. All empires rise and fall eventually. It's true.
Oh, boy.
Anything else about these episodes that interested you guys?
Let's see. Let me look at my notes here. Never mind.
Never mind.
All right. Then I guess we're done for now. So we will be back soon with an episode covering weeks 5 and 6 and mid-season cuts in our attempt to catch up on this season.
Yeah.
But yeah.
This will be
What did the Papa? What did the Papa tomato say to the baby tomato that fell behind?
Catch up.
Catch up.
Catch up.
Thank you, Pulp Fiction.
Pulp Fiction, yes.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, cool. Thank you for listening. Remember to like, follow, and subscribe to us on YouTube to get updates on new podcasts or videos. You can also find our podcast on everything. And follow us on Twitter at Nerdom and Other for updates as well. Definitely come to our Discord. We always have fun over there. We talked a little bit about Destiny 2's new Season of the Dawning trailer that came out today.
Indeed. I also played
looks
some
good.
Call of Duty with my buddy Mundus on the server today. That's
Yeah,
fun.
nobody cares about that, Bcom. Anyways, with that, we'll see you next time. Later.
See ya.
Bye.